I won't bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son that poor son that
son of a bitch.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Crastinators podcast, and it's me, Ben Saint. And unfortunately,
Hello.
I can't capture every. Unfortunately, I cannot share every precious moment of my life with you, the audience, and you, Give and Take. .site.
Well, plug. Thank you. Saying .site after my name.
You're welcome for saying .site after your name. What happened this week?
What happened?
What happened?
Well, I have a sort of topic of convo. I've needed to, because I've been drawing the Clarissa thing, and it's been going sort of alright. You know, a page or so every day of like blocking out panels and figuring out how to translate a script or an outline of a scene into a. Yeah, it's pretty good. But I have been beating myself up about it, and I've talked to my therapist. So you gotta like let yourself feel. You gotta be nicer to yourself. What do you like doing? What makes you feel happy? And that was like, do you ever feel like you have no emotions? Like nothing will make you sad or happy, and it's just sort of like, oh, well, I genuinely don't have an answer to what would make me happy right now.
Are you asking me, or is that what your therapist said?
No, well, I mean, it's what got me thinking about it, and I am asking you if you've ever felt that sort of, wow, I just realized I don't have emotions at this point in time.
Sure.
I don't know what would make me happier, or whether I'm sad or not. I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
It's a big, I don't know moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts.
What?
That's my thoughts.
That's it?
Well, I was just wondering, because, like, it's so weird.
Oh.
I thought I had interests and passions, and sometimes I just feel like I don't. I feel like...
sure, I feel like that all the time.
But that's bad.
Is that bad? Okay, is that where you're going with that? That's bad.
It's bad.
Oh.
It's not a good state of being.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to at least know what would make you happy and to do it, and to like treat yourself.
Oh,
it's like what do you call it? Self-care. It's self-care because when you have no emotions one way or the other, you're just sort of dead inside.
Yeah.
And so every day is like, well, I don't know, I guess I'm awake.
So this is what your therapist said. She said, you ever feel like
no,
you have no emotions one way or the other? And you were like, yes. And she was like, oh, well, that's bad. Oh, you shouldn't feel like that.
Not the extent of
okay, anyway, that's out of time. We're out of time. We'll see you next week.
That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's just got to sort of, I don't know. I've, like, with gender stuff, gender dysphoria and euphoria, I've just sort of fallen off feeling good or bad. I'm like, I need reminding what it feels like.
I need more gender. Ever since I got on gender, like I need more and more of it, like to just feel that same high.
But it's funny. It's like a feeling of gender euphoria is like being told I look really cute or something, and I'm like,
right.
A sort of wave of something flushes over me, and I'm like, I feel giddy, and I'm like, oh, that's an emotion. I get it now. I hadn't been feeling that for some reason. Was I sad before? I don't think so. I was just nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think being more emotional is a good thing, and I should try and do it more. I don't really know how.
Yeah.
But that's just been on my mind lately. Like crying at a film.
Yeah.
Or just,
You're saying that's something you should
I
strive to do more?
I want to. I don't know whether it's like, objectively, it is good for the human to do this. I mean, I don't know. I just know that it feels great when I feel happy about something, and I don't feel happy about much generally. I feel like I feel sort of numb.
I feel you. Yeah.
I feel sort of numb to like maybe as a defense mechanism for like all of the shitty things that are going on, just that I constantly read about, and I'm like, we're all gonna die very soon. And it's like, as a defense mechanism, instead of freaking out about it, I just sort of block emotional receptors and I don't feel anything. And then it becomes harder to, I don't know, look into the future and be like, I want to do this. I'm going to strive for that. I'm just sort of like making sure I eat and continuing to do a project or something. And I'm like, that sucks. Because I know what it feels like. I can get reminded of what it feels like to be truly happy, and like doesn't happen often enough.
Yeah, but what's the solution? What's the solution here?
Drugs.
Yeah, you know what makes me truly happy? Doc, I'll tell you what makes me happy is shooting up heroin. A shooting 8-ball, speedball, highball. I think it in my bloodstream.
I think legitimately, drugs are the reason people take drugs is to get a feeling of something when they're feeling like nothing. So even though they're all like, a lot of them are very dangerous, and you shouldn't. That might be so. You shouldn't shoot up heroin.
Probably not. I mean, I've heard it's bad.
No, yeah, but like that's the underlying cause of.
But how will I know unless I do it all the time?
I don't know.
How will I know?
Give it a go, said the therapist.
How will I know it's bad unless I try it again and again and again and again?
Yeah.
As that one guy from that one history podcast, again and again and again. What's that guy's name?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's just a guy who does like World War I and World War II. He does this it's like a one-man podcast where he just talks about military history, and he just says it like that. Okay, anyway, sorry to derail that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a solution, I think the answer lies
Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. I found it. Okay,
in
so
Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. The answer lies in self-care and whatever that entails.
That could be anything.
I know, but like the fact that I historically self-care is sounded like whatever. That's dumb. Self-care, like, well, to me it has. Like, it's just something. It sounds like meditation. Like, I can't meditate. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the benefits. It's just sort of like it's too abstract for me to grasp the utility of it, for me to take it seriously enough for it to actually be useful. I mean, and so self-care seemed like a similar thing. I don't know.
Meditation seems like, it's so specific. It's like, it's just some fancy mumbo jumbo. Whereas self-care just sounds like, I mean, like you could call anything self-care.
Well, you could, but like it's the outcome. I mean, I don't know much about it either. It's just sort of like, I mean, you've seen like, this is a self-care, like social media posts, people talking about self-care day.
Yeah.
Where it's, I don't know. This is where I am right now, is that I am confused.
Well, self-care is just, isn't it just anything that makes you, anything you do to like keep yourself feeling good, I guess, right? Or keep yourself feeling positive.
Yeah.
Keep yourself from succumbing to, whatever
like
problems you got.
Like what I feel a self-care thing would be, based on what I've read, is that you say, for example, you have like your shower and you keep clean, a normal amount, but you don't really do it because you want it. You just do it because I got a shower. And if you like instead of taking your regular old shower to get clean, you get like super clean. You like get like super relaxing bubble bath and feel really good physically, rather than just doing your regular old like utilitarian shower. Having an extra little bit of spice, an extra little something to your normal routine that you wouldn't usually put in there because I don't have time for that. Self-care is indulging in things that take time, but are physically and mentally stimulating in a way that you would usually just ignore because, I don't know, I'm in a rat race right now. I can't have fun. I can't do things that are good.
Yeah, I see.
I think that's what I assume self-care is about, is adding, like, you moments. Like, the point of a moment, an action, is to benefit you in a way that is different from, I don't know, other ones that are just sort of like, oh, I gotta get money because I gotta eat. But getting a really nice thing to eat.
Can getting money be self-care? Can hustling be self-care?
Well, that's the thing. It's
to me. It's when I wake up at the crack of dawn and I start that hustle and grind. For me, that's self-care. It keeps me going.
Well, it's like
sorry, but it could be though.
No,
No?
It can be in conjunction with hustling because hustling is sort of like you're.
What about grinding?
You're grinding your body against the grindstone of the commerce and labor, and you're creating something of value that you can then get the money from. But your body is being used up. You know, your energy, whatever. You are using your energy to create wealth that you can spend on things that give you energy. But if you only care about the grind, you sort of leave your personal well-being to the side a little.
Yeah.
And you just sort of you focus more of that wealth onto making more wealth quicker instead of fat stacks.
Fat stacks, right.
And so I don't know. I feel like there's more room in my life to care about myself. And it's not even just like taking a bath, it's just sort of it's a mental practice, like to feel good about a good day's work. Even if I could easily criticize myself for not having a very good week, I should instead praise myself for having a week as good as I did, etc. Mental stuff.
I had that physics professor in college who told us, like, when you are doing physics, when you're solving problems, like, it's important to let yourself feel good when you solve a problem. When you find the answer to a question, like, make sure to let yourself feel good about it as a way to, you know, reward yourself and keep yourself motivated to keep going and keep doing them. Yeah. It is all too easy to allow negative thoughts directed at yourself into your life, and to ignore positive ones. And I don't know why that is, but it just so happens. And it's better to have a balance, or more positive than negative, or I don't know. I definitely beat myself up. I mean, I know this is pretty obvious to anyone listening, and it's obvious to me too. I beat myself up far more often than I'm deserving of it. And I don't praise myself. Doesn't sound good.
No, it's not.
Sounds like you've identified a key problem right there.
Yep. The steps, like the literal steps, are a little strange. I don't know exactly yet. I've been advised to, buy clothes that make me feel more gender, make me feel, like if I have like an androgynous sort of pair of jeans or whatever that I continually wear because I'm too scared of looking too girly. But I like it when it works, when I can put something on that is girly and it looks good and people compliment me. That's like a big source of enjoyment for me. I really like it.
Yeah.
But I just sort of, I'm scared. I'm scared of looking not quite right, certainly in public. And so I just sort of default to not wearing girlier clothing, wearing more gender-affirming clothes. And that's something I should steer away from, I think. I should do things that make me happier, even though there's a higher risk of whatever. Of, I don't know, somebody looking at me and saying, you're trans. Yes, you're not a woman, and you know.
Do you get comments on your appearance in public? I don't.
No, not in public, but like among people. When I'm out with
among
people, among us. When I'm like out, or even just in the house, like if I'm wearing something that is feminine and it looks good, I will sometimes get compliments from my mum or my brother, and it's like, wow, all right, I like that.
Yeah.
You don't usually get compliments in public from strangers, but when it's people you know,
I see.
I don't know.
But what about me though? How am I what am I supposed to do?
Well, you got to dress.
Let's get serious. Let's get serious about what matters.
You should go full goth. I think you would look like a cool goth. Because you've always been into that.
A cool goth. You know, that's very. You know what? You've identified something there. I don't know. Yeah. Being
like
goth is cool.
Yeah, and like
being goth is cool.
What if you just made it a point to start wearing black lipstick or something?
Ugh.
It's like,
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I don't know what you're into, but like
That's
something
fair.
that would be like, oh, I look cool like this. I should wear this more often, even if it's more of a hassle, even if it's a bit expensive to get into that. And it's difficult. It's more difficult than just throwing on a t-shirt. It's worth it because it's self-care. It's you're spending that energy to make yourself happier. It's worth it.
It is actually. I have been meaning to buy like new clothes. I haven't bought clothes in a while. I've been meaning to go and like. Well, that's the thing. I know that I need a new wardrobe. I know that all my clothes suck, and I've had them all for like 10 years, and I like need some new ones. But I don't know where I want to go to get any, and I don't exactly know what I want. I have some idea of some things I could get. I don't know where to go to get them, and it's hard, and it's just so hard, and it's such a hassle.
It's hard and it's a hassle. I think that's
it literally
the key.
Feels like a job. It literally feels like it's like a job that I have to work in order to, one, determine where clothes are to be obtained, and then two, to go and obtain them.
It is hard work making yourself feel happy. That is true. I think that's the key is that getting self-care doesn't just mean, I don't know, doing whatever you feel like in the moment, which is usually just going to be, I just want to laze around today instead of working. Like, that's not self-care. That's just sort of not caring. Yeah. Self-care is an active
you do something deliberately to make yourself feel better or to improve your whatever, how you will feel in the future.
Yeah. Because for me, another thing is like wearing makeup is something I've been afraid of trying because, makeup's one can easily be looking bad, but I can get the hang of that, I'm sure. But then there's the cost and the time investment for putting on makeup every morning. And it's like, I don't even want to get into that. But I know that it would make me look nicer. And so I should spend that mental energy to just get into it, figure it out. It's gonna take hard work, but it's a good thing to get about doing.
I wore that. Actually, it's the jacket that I wore in the RadCon 4 lectures. The like tuxedo jacket. I wore that the other day, and I was like, this thing rules. I wish I had like 3 more similar ones. But that's such like a specific piece of clothing. That's such like a weird item. You can't just find those. Certainly not like ones that fit and ones that like look good, like just worn as like a jacket. You know, usually they're part of a set or something.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's like the kind of item that I wish I just knew where to go to get one. I would go and I would find some, but I don't.
I mean, you could just blindly search for a little while in like thrift stores. Might have something.
Yeah. Every time I've gone to the garment district, I've been disappointed. I always go there thinking I'll like find some like weird stuff, and I never do, or I never find any weird stuff that's like that I like or that I want. I always go, and I'm always like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna expand my wardrobe. I'm gonna find some stuff. I'm gonna find some cool stuff, and then I always leave like, well, I got a shirt. What was the point? Shopping
is terrifying. I hate shopping, even though it's just sort of like, I feel like I need to stay there and mull over these things for like way longer than the store is going to be open for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, I gotta hurry. I only have like 6 hours before the shop closes.
Yeah.
I gotta choose something. Oh, but what if I don't like it? Then I spend like some money on one thing, and I'm like, well, it's all right. And I sometimes wear it, and it's like, what a waste. But I feel like the alternative of just having whatever you have and just wearing that and not feeling anything because you don't feel like cool or cute or sexy wearing it, that's worse, I think.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that the result in the past is often that I will go out in an attempt to fix that problem of I don't have anything that I want to wear, I don't have anything that I like how I look in, and then I go out and I don't solve the problem. I've just wasted my time. And I end up no better off for it.
Sure, but like there's only
very
so many.
discouraging.
It is, but there's only so many times it can fail because clearly,
are there though?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like getting a date. You're gonna go out and it's gonna suck most of the time. Then it's gonna work.
Yeah, it says you. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Hard work in the face of
sort of meaning to get back on like Tinder or something. I think I've been talking about this for months. Should like go on dates again. It just sounds, but the same exact thing. It sounds so hard. Sounds like so much work.
It is.
Jesus.
But hard work in the face of adversity is.
I don't understand.
It makes it. That's why it's hard.
I don't understand how anyone does anything.
They have emotions.
That's dumb. I have it so easy. In the grand scheme of things, I have it so easy. I don't have a job. I have nothing but free time, and yet I feel like it's all consumed all the time by the projects that I have in the works. I feel like I have so much more time than the average person, and yet it's like I feel like I have no time for anything. You know, most people have a 9-to-5, not me. And yet I feel like I do less than most people. Most people go on dates, go clothes shopping. Me, I'm just like, damn, gotta keep messaging Alibaba. Gotta get that book printed one of these days. You know, some people, they could do the sort of thing that I do. The average person, I feel like, they have to squeeze that sort of thing out in their spare time.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how anyone does it.
I think it's
hard.
It's entirely because they're more mentally like capable to do it for various reasons. I think the structure of a job and the fact that you have to go, if you go physically somewhere, you meet people, it's like slightly, it's a social experience. It's like there's aspects of like regular work that give you more energy to do things. I mean, obviously people come home exhausted all the time, but when you like with us, we don't have like a traditional job. We make our own hours.
Yeah.
And going out is not necessary for a lot of it. There's not like a group of people that we are, the work people that we go to see when we're at work.
Yeah.
So it just sort of feels a little isolating, maybe. And it's a series of things that make it harder to feel like anything is worth it. And I think it's because we're not doing the hard work that makes everything seem so much harder. The hard work of self-care, the hard work of, like, if you're in a bad mental space, it's harder to do anything. You know, depression does that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar sort of thing. If you're in a bad I don't know where I'm going. I feel like I had a good point.
You're saying if we are you saying we're caught in some sort of death spiral?
No. I'm saying that it seems so difficult to do all these things, and I think the fact that you feel like you have so much free time is another. Well, it's a thing
I
that
simultaneously feel like I have so much free time, but it's all eaten up by things so quickly.
Sure, but like the fact that you feel like you should be able to make more of your time is like a guilt trip thing. You're saying that despite not having a 9 to 5, you're doing less work, and so that like weighs on you. It makes you feel worse about
it. I think I mentioned
life.
Last week. I said like I'm just like, where does the day go? Like I spent the day like, you know, I had like I had meant to edit that day, but instead, what was it? Like I had done a little bit of reorganizing. I had messaged some printers. I had like checked my emails or whatever, and then like the day was gone. I was like, what? I didn't even get to do the thing.
I think that the point I'm generally getting at is that it's harder for you than you're giving yourself credit, and you're beating yourself up.
Well,
by comparing yourself to people who just somehow magically seem to be able to do so much stuff. And I think it's not that you're in an advantageous position, actually. And it's like it's a mental problem that is blocking you and making you feel like nothing matters, and that no amount of passion, that you don't have passion for anything, which makes it harder to do stuff, which is why you look at the amount of stuff you do and you're like, well, that's not a lot of stuff, and I don't even have a 9 to 5 job. I must suck. Something is terribly wrong. And it just sort of spirals like that.
Right.
And that's why the self-care is important. It's sort of a fight against that sort of negative spiral.
Okay.
Even though it's like, on the grand scheme of things, you could objectively say, well, I do less work than some other people. The point is not to then shit on yourself for that, is to like congratulate yourself for when you do get stuff done, to build up a more positive outlook on life, which makes you happier generally, which makes it easier to do things, which improves the amount of stuff you can do anyway.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I don't know. I don't mean to. I've mostly been fine and been passing days and getting stuff done. There's just some days when it feels like, oh geez, my day was eaten up. There's just some days when I feel like where did the day go, and like, wow, how much worse would it be if I was like, you know, the typical person who has no choice but to, you know, give over, you know, 8 of their like 8 to 12 of the, you know, 16 hours a day that they have to themselves to a boss man. You know what I mean?
It's not to say that having a 9 to 5 means you're more capable, because I know definitely people struggle the same way you do, but also have a job, so it's just sort of doubly depressing.
Yeah.
But I think there's something to be said for not comparing yourself to others and just considering that whatever path your life is on, you're the only person on that path, and you just gotta work at it yourself, like bit by bit.
Gotta be the best me I can be.
Yeah.
Sure. I gotcha.
I don't know.
I gotcha. No, I get you. No, I hear you. But speaking of, speaking of beating myself up for not working hard enough, last week when I said that I thought maybe that video would be done by the time the episode came out, that was foolish, and I should have known at the time that it was foolish. But I said it anyway, and I can never take it back. Yeah.
Sure you can.
I was thinking about, like, what if I did the least work on it possible? Like, yeah, the laziest possible version of it could have been done last week, but of course in hindsight I realized no, but that doesn't allow time to do such and such and so, adding little visual touches that I was thinking of and I wanted to do. So I've been going through it, and I've been doing that, and I am through. I hope the pace will pick up. At this point, I have gone through and I have finished it. I have finished about an hour and a half out of 7 hours of it. So it's slow going, but I hope it will speed up. I had to spend. This is another thing that it's how does this take so long? How am I so incompetent that I spent the whole day? I spent an entire day, more than an entire day, just right click saving images that I knew I was going to want to put in as visual aids. That took me an entire day just doing that. But
this is exactly the thing. You did all that work.
Yes.
And you're shitting on yourself for it.
But it doesn't feel like work, because every individual action, every right click save is infinitesimally small. It's nothing. It's not work.
Well,
it should take zero time. The work involved in it rounds down to zero. And then I did it, 400 times or whatever. And then it's that's 400 times zero should be zero.
Yeah, but moving your mouse you're not just moving a mouse and clicking. You're also thinking about what images and then finding them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just zero brain energy work. You had to consider
that's
the best version of the image for the thing.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a kind of thing that's it is work, and I am doing work, and I am getting it done. But then when I look back on it, I'm I have done nothing.
You're being a shitty boss to yourself.
Yeah, I hear you. Boy, but the fact that I spent that time hopefully means that it will not take me another week to get the other 6 hours of content made. I hope that it will now be okay, maybe you can. This.
I mean, things that shouldn't when I just think of it in a without looking too deep, I'm that shouldn't take too long. It always takes the longest, because it's right now the Clarissa stuff. I do feel kind of stupid at how slow I'm doing it and how easily I'm getting distracted. And I'm beating myself up about how I'm not able to condense these pages into smaller enough, efficient enough pages, such that it's on par with One Piece, which I'm reading every week, and various other comics that it's just sort of I see them and I'm oh yeah, panel layout. Oh, that's a diagonal one. I haven't put a diagonal panel for 20 pages. What am I doing with my life? And I'm just sort of I'm freaking out a little, but about how long it's taking to do all that. But it is kind of the most brain intensive part because I'm trying to translate an idea into a visual image, and also trying to like set out a page so that it reads well, and then I'm beating myself up for doing that, but maybe not being as efficient as One Piece. And I'm like, that's like, in hindsight, that criticism doesn't make any sense. I can just go over the pages later and adjust them, but it's like in the moment, I'm like, I'm doing all this work, and I'm like, this isn't good enough. I'm just sketching. I'm not even sketching. I'm just blocking out, like, here's where the character would be. They're gonna have their arm coming out from this side of the panel, and I'm not sketching it. I'm gonna go over it and sketch it, and then do the line art. And it's like, if it's not a sketch, if it's not line art, it should take much less time. But the fact is, the line art is the thing that takes the least time, because the sketch lines are already there, and I can turn my brain off and just draw lines. And I don't even need to think. The thinking part is the stuff that actually takes the considering. The pondering and the considering is the hard part. That's
true. That's my experience. Yes, it's the thinking that is hard. I've said that before about comics, but I mean about anything really.
Yeah, I forget what I was said last time about how many pages more it would probably take. It's going to be way more. It's probably just going to be way more.
It's going to be more than you said.
It's going to be more than I said, just because in that moment I had a very, very strict or conservative like estimate of how many pages each scene would take, and as I draw things, I'm like, well, it needs another panel to show this, and it needs more actually, and the page numbers go up, and I'm like, oh no, I'm making so much work for myself down the line. There's so many pages. Surely I could condense this down lower, and potentially I could if I go over it later. But I don't know, I think I was being too optimistic with how little pages I would have to draw to get the story to the end.
I see, yeah.
Because it's little things like, you write the script and you're like, oh, this character says this.
I mean...
But like, screen real estate is taken up by the speech bubbles, and you still need to show, like, establishing shots and characters reacting to things.
You could theoretically cram more onto a page, but, like, you would still have to draw the same amount.
Yeah, I mean, sure. There's ways, because, like, One Piece is so efficient, the amount of stuff... The amount of plot points that can be going on in one chapter of One Piece, even with multiple different fights going on, in like 20 pages is incredible. If you actually like think about how many lines of dialogue and action are going on in a single chapter, it's like there's like a definite. They've narrowed it down to a fine science of how to do that.
Yeah,
because One Piece would be so much longer if it had the pacing of Bleach, for example. Bleach was very much a more like artful, large panels that take up entire pages. The amount of pages that show a certain amount of stuff happening is much longer in Bleach, but it's so artful that nobody cares. It's really lovely to look at. But One Piece manages to look cool and extremely efficient with its storytelling. It's like, it's unfathomable. I shouldn't be comparing myself to it. It's a little too high of a bar.
I mean, that is like the most popular manga in like the history of the world.
Yep.
Right, sure. So I understand your point there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can only condense it. I mean, I'm sure it's good to be efficient when possible, but you can only do so much. You can only cram as much as you can cram onto a page.
Yeah. I can always improve. I'll make Clarissa, and then the next thing I do, I will be better at it, because I'm constantly thinking about like every panel being necessary for the story I'm telling, which is something I've always liked, because the more important if every panel is important, if every frame of animation is important, then you can save time by not wasting time drawing frames that don't do anything.
I mean, sure.
You can have as least frames as possible, as least work as possible for the same effect. That's what I like.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I go for. I mean, yeah, I remember thinking, like, I feel like I became a lot more efficient. Like, I showed myself that I could be faster and more efficient at drawing comics than I had ever been before when I was doing Phantom's Revenge. And I remember thinking, like, oh, I think I'll be faster on the next thing. But there has been no next thing. I have not drawn anything since then. I assume at some point in the future I will. But
well,
I haven't.
that could always be like I've had this thing as well where I know that I can on occasion draw super quick and get a lot done, but during that time I don't realize that I'm burning myself out. I'm putting more energy in that I'm giving myself to like rest up, and so I burn out, and that's why I managed to do so much, is because I was doing too much and I couldn't keep up, and then I had to stop for a long time. And so trying to reach that pace again could be foolish, because I'm just setting myself up to burn out. Because the burnout is like, for anything, is the harder you push yourself, the like exponentially longer the recovery process is. If you work just like a little less hard, your rest time that you need will be a lot less, and so over time more work will get done. Keeping up a super high pace for like a number of years, it's not advisable. I would think.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm saying, like, I was getting more done with less effort than I thought previously.
Okay.
Or there were times where that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, that could just be like a more comfortable, like, drawing hand. Like, you've built up muscle memory and certain things are easier. So that could also be the case.
I don't know. It's just like, geez. Once again, it just feels like that's another thing, like, I don't have like a real job, and I'm not even really working on like a comic right now. I'm sort of in between things, and yet just trying to sort things out in between things feels like it takes up all my. I guess I'm not just sorting things out. I'm working on that video. I'm working on that video right now, but at the same time, I've got all these other like unfinished things that I have. I realized the other day that, like, oh shit, I never even finished drawing the cover. I never finished drawing the cover for Slime and Punishment. Like, of course I've got to do that. But I got so disgusted with the state of the book, with the whole, like, the lady not messaging me, that I just threw it all down. It's in mid cover drawing. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Fly.
See, to me, that seems like justifiable. Like, all right, I need a break from this bullshit because of this back and forth that isn't happening with the printer.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be shitting on yourself for having needed that break.
Well, what I need to do, I realize that what I actually need to do before I do anything else is I need to finish that cover, and I need to actually finish the layout, because I did not actually finish everything. I was simultaneously trying to get the book printing sorted out, and then at the same time I was trying to get the PDF files and get the layout all done. And so I can't actually print until I have that done. And so I think what I need to do after the video is done, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm not going to message anyone. I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to sit down and actually finish it. And then I can get back to doing what I talked about last week, which is making a new Alibaba account and trying to catfish the old printer into... Because that's what it's going to take. I'm going to have to approach her with, like, hey, I do not need to discuss anything with you. I don't need to ask you questions about anything. Just I have a project. Please just print it for me. And that's going to be giving me the highest chance of like she'll actually do it. Is just make it as painless and as possible. So that's the order in which I'm approaching things. I've continued to order bags of green rock to eventually serve as things, to serve as like bonus podrons to put in packages whenever this Kickstarter actually gets around to happening. I have many bags of many different kinds of green crystals. I have a drawer full of them.
Mini bags.
Some of them, yeah, they're all different though. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, some of them are greener, some of them are less green, some of them are lighter, some of them are darker, and they all have different consistencies, and it's very much like, it's so hard to choose. It's so hard to choose which one I should go with.
You should have them in like a raffle cage and then twist them around.
I think
tumble them.
Yeah, I think there were some. Okay, obviously, like price is important. Like I would rather buy more of the kinds of rocks that are relatively cheaper. So looking at that, like I think I picked out a couple that were like, there was one that was fairly cheap, but it only came with like 5 of them. The color was good. The color was like it was like a light pale green. I was like, that's pretty good. The consistency is good. But there was another one where like the rocks were smaller and they were darker, but they were greener, and there were lots of them in the package. So like they were smaller overall, but not that much smaller. But like I would got like 20 of them in a package for like $15 instead of getting like 5 in a package for like $12. So I was like, the size, they're not quite as big as I would like, but everything else about them is superior. So I think that's the rock I'm going with, is that one company. I ordered like a dozen different ones to just compare and contrast, like which guys should I go with for buying rocks? Which is the best green? And I think I found them. I had to compromise on some things, but I think I found the best compromise that maximizes all the different factors that are important to me in Podron selection. That was another thing. I spent a day, like I laid out all my different rocks and I compared different green rocks. And then like that took like half my day, and then I'm like, where did my day go? That wasn't work. I didn't do anything. I just picked one rock out of a list of rocks. That's not.
Well, you considered them,
but it took me a while, and I had to. It was a project gathering them all, to the point that I was like, I think I've exhausted all my options. I have all the options before me now. Now it's time to lay them out, make lists of pros and cons, choose the ultimate rock.
The ultimate rock.
The ultimate crystal.
This is where in the platformer game, that a wind would blow them all over the world, and then you have to go collect them.
Yeah.
Ben Saint, you have to collect all of the green rocks for your plugers, your Kickstarter people.
I hope to see people pluging one of these days. Yeah, just like in real life, you know, that when a sudden I hate when a sudden gust of wind blows all my rocks away. You know what I mean? It's like such a bummer every time. I go out for a picnic and I lay out my rocks on my picnic basket, and then a gust of wind just scatters them all to the 4 corners of the earth. Yeah, I hear you.
And then there's the secret pages you can also collect, which make up Phantom's Revenge.
Oh, sure. Obviously.
Wait, not Phantom's Revenge. Pages. Slime and Punishment.
Right.
Phantom's Revenge is just merely a chapter.
Merely a chapter in the saga. I got new glasses. I had to go through a whole fucking rigmarole to get new glasses from this company. They were technically like a Christmas present. Or a birthday present or something. Like No, it was a birthday present. My mom wanted to get me new glasses, and I was like, yes, I need new glasses. But she wanted me to pick the frames, and so there was this whole rigmarole of, like, I had to make an account on this website, and then I had to pick a bunch of frames, and then they sent me, like, several frames, and I had to try them on, and then I had to go and, like, I had to submit a bunch of paperwork, like, to let them know my prescription and something, and I had to get an appointment to the optometrist to update my prescription. And so I finally got them, and I think they're a little off. I think they look fine, but I feel a little weird wearing them. Like, just, they make me ever so slightly dizzy. And I think the prescription, or like the pupillary distance, is off, and it's a little, like, I can read in them fine, but when I'm, like, walking around and, like, I turn my head and, like, looking at distant things, I feel like something feels a little weird. I think I'm gonna have to send them back, and that's frustrating.
Is it because they're too in focus, or just some other thing?
I don't know. It's not like the clarity, like everything's clear through them. It's just when I move, there's something about distant objects when I move my head, it feels a little bit disorienting, or like something is a little bit off. And I can't really explain it any better than that.
Are they, like, circles? Are they Harry Potter glasses?
No, they're rectangles, much like my old ones. Except they're, like, sort of a different, they're sort of, like, they're sort of, like, brown on top and kind of greenish on the bottom. They're called, like, emerald garnet was the color, the description. I don't know. They have sort of like a tortoise shell to greenish fade coloring to them, and I like them. I think they look cool. They're not a huge change from my old frames, but my old frames were just kind of like dark brown, and these ones have a little subtle coloring to them. But the old ones were like cracked; they were falling apart. I'd had to glue them back shut several times.
I haven't had new glasses in a while.
Yeah,
the ones I'm wearing, I've been wearing for years. These ones.
My old ones I got in Poland, like, almost 10 years ago, I think.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How can you have glasses for 10 years? Doesn't your prescription change?
Actually, no. I went to my optometrist and got my first appointment it was a new optometrist, but I went to an optometrist and got my prescription checked, and they said that, like, my prescription had barely changed since the last time.
Wow.
So that's good. My eyesight seems to be holding strong, you know. Put that on the pros list, I guess. Things to be happy about. Anyway, I'll probably have to make a fucking phone call, and then I'll probably have to put them back in the box and address it to them and send it back, and then wait like 2 weeks and receive a new prescription, or a new set of lenses with a pupillary distance adjusted or something like that. Oh God! Speaking of rigmarole, hey, let me gripe. Okay, I was talking on Twitter about how my new thing is treasury bonds. Do you want to hear about treasury bonds?
Sure.
Oh, sure you do. Sure you do. Everybody wants to hear about it. All right, listen. Here's the deal with treasury bonds. There is my parents turned me on to this. There is a thing you can do. I think you might have to be a US citizen, but you can buy these things called treasury bonds. There's specifically a kind of bond called an I bond, because they're lettered. They have different letter types of bonds. Well, this is the I bond. And the I stands for interest. It is pegged to the interest rate. And so right now the interest rate is really high. Or it was as of like a few months ago, because the interest rate on the I bond is set every 6 months. Every 6 months, it updates to like, what is the current rate of, inflation. I said interest, I meant to say inflation. It's pegged to inflation. And so like 4 or 5 months ago, the inflation rate was at like 9.86%. So the I bond earns an interest rate of 9.86%. And so what they were telling me, and what I realized, yes, this is what I need to do, is at any point within that 6 month period between whatever, like June and October or whatever it is, if I buy an I-bond then for the next 6 months after I buy it, it will accrue interest at a rate of 9.86%. And 9.86% is insane. So I really needed to like put as much money into that as I possibly could, like right now. So I'm like, okay, I have until the end of October. So like a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago, I get online, go to the website and I make an account, and they're like, we're having trouble verifying your information. You need to do some paperwork for us. Fill this out, get this notarized, and then send it to us, and we will verify it. And I'm like, okay. So I waited around for a while, for a couple weeks, until I had reason to go into town to go to a bank to find a notary public to get my freaking form notarized. It means I have to find a guy who's professionally qualified to give it like a certain stamp. So I did that finally, and then I sent it maybe a week and a half ago. I sent it in the mail. And so the other day I check my account, or I check it, and I'm like, okay, hopefully that's been processed by now. Time for me to buy some of these sweet I-bonds, baby. Time for me to lock in that sweet 9.86% interest rate. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? That's like a dream. That's like you can't fucking get that. My bank account is earning like 0.015%, some dog shit. So it's a miracle. So I go and I check the account, and I check the email or whatever that I got in response, and it tells me that it might be up to 13 weeks before they verify my documents.
Wow.
Yeah, it might be up to 13 weeks. So of course the window will have passed by then. The window will have passed, and the interest rate will have updated again, and it will probably go down a bit. I don't know what it'll go down to, but it was gonna be so perfect. I was gonna lock it in right before the interest rate updated. So I was gonna get 6 months at 9.86%. Then it was gonna update, and in the next 6 month window, it would probably be a little bit lower, but only a little bit. It would maybe be something like 8%. So I was gonna get 6 months at 9%, 6 month at 8%, and I assume it will probably go down after that. Which, whatever. But that would be a whole year at this great interest rate. And I don't know. I'm sure I've lost out on at least hundreds of dollars. At least hundreds of dollars by not fucking hitting this window. And you know what? That's the kind of thing that bums me out and just makes me think, what's it even worth getting up in the morning? You know what I mean? This fucking nonsense, this completely out of my control, completely like arbitrary system to just fuck me over this way. I couldn't have even done it, even if I'd acted immediately, even if I hadn't waited to make the account and I hadn't waited to get it notarized, even if I'd sprung into action as soon as possible. 13 weeks is still too long. I still wouldn't have made it. It was doomed from the beginning.
I mean, you could have started when you were born. You could have started putting in bonds.
Well, I could have heard
millions of days ago.
I mean, I could. It was out of my control when this information was brought to my attention. So I'm assuming that I would have found out. I'm assuming that in every possible universe, I would have found out about it at the same moment.
Okay, so it's not even like.
So it's not.
I understand that it sucks.
It was so close. I was so close to hundreds of dollars of free money, Gib.
True.
Hundreds.
But if every universe you would have been notified at the same time, you would have always missed it.
I mean, yeah.
Truly,
true.
It is your
yeah,
parents
true.
who are at your fault, who did not tell you.
Just like
it.
with everything else, it's my parents' fault for not knowing about this ahead of time. That's true. They should have known sooner and told me. They should have anticipated that interest would be this high in 2022.
So, okay, what is the thing? Like, you put money in a bond.
Yes.
And over an entire year, the interest rate that you put it in at is accrued?
Well, it's it compounds every 6 months.
Every 6 months, so half a year.
So, yeah. for 6 months, let's say the interest was 10%, just to be for ease of math, like you would buy the bond at a rate of 10%, and then over the next 6 months it would accrue, 5% of its value, because half the annual rate. It would accrue 5% of its value in interest, and then it would add that to the total, and then it would compound, and then the interest rate would be updated to reflect the new inflation rate, and then the cycle would repeat again.
Okay. And what is a bond made by? Who benefits from you putting the money in?
It's literally the United States government, like, taking out a loan from you. You're literally just loaning the United States government money, and they're paying you back with interest.
Seems like a no-brainer. Can it go negative %? Can you lose money by putting it in?
No.
Oh, wow.
It is yeah, it is basically guaranteed to not. No, they guarantee that even if the inflation rate were to go negative, they will not, like, reduce money from you. It can't go below zero. No.
Right.
The thing about bonds is that they are basically the standard for, like, as safe as an asset can be. Like, anything that you invest your money in has the potential to lose money. For a U.S. bond to fail or to lose value somehow, like, the United States government would have to collapse. So, yeah, this is actually literally, this is what, do you remember that thing about, like, the Biden wanting to mint, like, $1 trillion coin?
Oh, yeah, I forgot what that was about.
It was an economic thing because the Republicans weren't, like, approving the budget, and until the budget was approved, the government, it was literally because the government needed to pay back its bonds, and if it couldn't do that, it had to default on them, and if the US government defaults on its loans, aka its bonds, that is like the tipping over the fucking World Trade Center sized domino in like a catastrophic economic cataclysm.
Well, so because, like, everyone who has a bond will be like, oh shit, my bond is about to be worthless, I'm going to take my money out.
Yes, because suddenly the US debt, which is, like, the safest asset that exists, suddenly, like, confidence is shaken. And it's like, oh, the United States dollar is suddenly doesn't look like such a sound investment anymore. Right.
It seems so... I mean, I know this is very unlikely to happen, but it is sort of weird how if something happens, everything collapses.
Well...
Like, if confidence is shaken by whatever means, then the entire economy would explode.
Well, I mean... It's because it is such a secure asset. That's why the US dollar is, like, the fundamental currency that, like, so much of not just the US economy but, like, the global economy is based on. So yeah, and suddenly if you shake confidence in the currency that, like, so much of the economy is built on, then yeah, like, everything else suddenly is shaken by it.
Yeah, it's just like that Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah? Which
one? Where Rick changes the value of an alien currency to be from 1 to 0, and then all of their money is worth nothing, and so they all kill themselves.
I don't remember that one.
It's like at the beginning of season 3 or something, where, like, at the end of season 2 is put in prison, and then in the beginning of season 3 he breaks out real quick, and he has a scene like that.
How did he change the value to 0?
He hacked the computer. He just did a computer thing.
But money is worth whatever people think it's worth.
Yeah, but these bugs there, or no, they just like,
it was
shit.
those bug people. It was those bug.
The bug people were like,
no, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Who seize him? But if you're paying me, then our money means nothing, and then I'm not going to do what you say. And it's like a very like
gotcha.
Mao.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. I do actually. It's coming back to me. Yes, it's exactly like that. Anyway, I'm just shaking and crying over here, and I'm seething and I'm coping, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna 12 weeks from now, I'm gonna look at the U.S. Treasury page, and it's gonna be like, oh, the interest rate has updated. It is now like a pathetic 7.6%, and I'm like, it's not even worth it. I'll just stick with a Bank of America's 0.15%. Like it might as well be the same. Forget it.
I wonder if there's like there's definitely some British equivalent, or I could just put in a bond.
Every government has like bonds.
Yeah,
every government does it.
But like, I'm wondering if there's like a royal bond, like you can invest in whatever the royal family is.
There's a little bit of a catch, but it's actually not as bad as I thought. You can't withdraw it for a year, so if you invest it, like you can't have it back for at least a year. But okay. So you have to leave it for a year, but after a year, you can withdraw it, but whenever you withdraw it, you lose the last 3 months of interest. So if you left it for a year and then you withdrew it immediately, you would only get 9 months worth of the interest. And that continues to be the case until 5 years. And then after 5 years, you can withdraw it with no penalty, no loss of interest at all. And then after 5 years, you can leave it to continue to accrue interest for up to 30 years. After 30 years, it stops accruing interest. But I mean, even so.
I mean, could you?
The rate is so much better than it's earning in my Bank of America savings account that like even if I took that 3 months interest hit, it's like it's still vastly superior. Yeah.
So. It'd be like special money that you can afford to not have in your bank.
Yeah,
and it would be a nice bonus every year or so.
Basically, it's like whatever. Yeah, if I had like all the money that I know I won't need for a year or more, it's like if it were just all in I bonds, it would just be like accruing itself. It would be like I would be so much better off if I had it in that form, especially because like maybe you buy a bunch like every year, right? Like you buy a little more every year, and then every year that goes by, it's like, okay, well, some of my old bonds have matured, and now I can take them out. Now I can take them out if I need them. But meanwhile, I've saved up some more money. Well, okay, so this year I'll put some more into bonds, and then 5 years from now those will mature. But then also next year, the ones that I invested in 4 years ago, those will mature. So I'll be set for next year too. Da 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 da. That's how you do it.
Oh, I'm just looking. I typed in UK bonds, and I am reminded of the thing that happened very recently with Kwasi Kwarteng.
What?
It's a new guy he made up a little budget. He was saying there's a cost of living crisis, and my solution as the money guy of the new government is to say taxes are going down across the board, which means the rich benefit the most.
Yeah.
And
nice.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. Nice. And apparently UK bonds are plummeting because of this. So probably not a good time for me to get into it. Unless that means it's more money? I don't understand exactly. But it says plunge. Plunge probably means down. Probably means less money.
I mean, like I say, there's many different... Like, these are I bonds, so there's also, I assume there's A and B and C and D and E and F and G bonds. And those all work a different way. They have some different, like, mechanism of calculating the interest rate. Just, the I bonds just happen to be a really juicy one right now, just because... the last time the interest rate the last time the interest rate updated, it was pegged to inflation, and the inflation was like at a record high, like 9.86%. So
The pound sterling is at a 37-year low because of the announcement he made about tax cuts. It's very annoying.
That sucks. Damn. It's funny. Yeah, tax cuts that benefit the rich people, but then also like, okay, but then in doing so, you've tanked the value of the pound sterling, which rich people have the most of, so they actually lost the most by it also. So great job, I guess.
They want to generate economic growth by being a fucking Tory menace.
Right.
Get him out of there.
What's his name?
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng?
Chancellor of the Exchequer. Is the new guy.
And this is a really offensive thing to say, but that sounds like a name that J.K. Rowling would make for, I don't know, some goblin banker.
What? I don't know where he's from. He's of African heritage. I don't know what country.
I see.
Goblin banker.
Or something, I don't know.
He has a fun name to say. I like saying it, but I hate everything he did.
Is it spelled Q-U-A?
No, it's a... I'll
K-W, like Kwanzaa?
Kwasi
Kwarteng.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I have not heard it said.
Yeah. You never know. Well, that's my gripes about treasury bonds. Anyone listening who, because this all happened because when I made the Treasury Direct account, they said like, we can't verify some of your information. We need this form. And then like approving the form is what will theoretically take up to 13 weeks. So anyone who is listening who maybe manages to make an account and doesn't have to submit like additional verification in the form of a notarized piece of paper, take my lesson that I've learned. Get those I-bonds. Do what I can't. Enjoy that 9.86 interest rate. Until the end of October. Until the end of October, you can lock in a 9.86% interest rate on up to $10,000 in bonds. If you have $10,000 lying around that you won't need for a year, why not get that 9%? Why not? Think about it.
So what would be the result? 9% of
almost
$10,000.
It would be almost $500 accrued in 6 months.
$500 in 6 months, and then
if you put in $10,000,
500 more.
Yeah.
If the interest rate doesn't drop a lot,
it'll probably drop a little bit. So then it would maybe be like 400 for the next. So it'd probably be. You might end up with like $800 to $900 in free money just for basically putting $10,000 aside and leaving it for a year, which is. If the stock market had like a guaranteed return of 10%, if any asset had like a guaranteed return of 10%, that would be insane. That would be unheard of. And guess what? This is an asset with a guaranteed return of 10%, at least for the next 6 months. So like, yeah, it's fucking just with that one caveat that you have to leave it for a year.
It could be that because it's such a good interest rate at the moment that they're getting a lot of submissions, which is why yours will take 13 weeks.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly, maybe. I don't know. I have a little bit of hope because they said up to 13 weeks. So maybe that means it could take less than 13 weeks. So maybe they'll get around to it in the next month. That would be nice. But I feel like I shouldn't hold my breath. Oh, I almost wish I knew for sure that it wouldn't happen so that I could just forget about it. But now it's like, I should keep checking my email. I should keep checking that email for the rest of October just to see if it happens. Oh well.
Money.
I like money.
Patreon.com/the
Yeah. I said I was wrong before. The most secure asset class is not actually the United States Treasury bonds, but actually it's stock in patreon.com/the Procrastinators, because for the low price of $5 a month, you get access to up to, what is it, like 59 or 58 bonus episodes?
A lot of bonus episodes.
And that's value. That's value.
Yeah, you can't withdraw the money, but you can withdraw it in the entertainment value you get from the show.
Right. Unlike the Treasury bond, you don't have to leave it for a year. You can get that sweet entertainment right now, at the moment, as soon as you pledge, and it will keep you entertained for that whole year while you're waiting for your bonds to mature. There's more than 50 episodes, so you can every single week go to the U.S. Treasury, buy a bond, and then every week. Listen to a bonus PCP episode every week for the next year, and by the time you've listened to them all, you can get that. You can withdraw. You can get that interest. So that's my advice. I started making coffee. Making coffee? Yeah, I usually take caffeine pills. I usually take my caffeine in pill form.
Oh, I thought you meant. I thought you were gonna say you're starting to like handmade, grind your own beans.
Oh God, did you see the flare up recently of like barista discourse on Twitter?
There's no, I didn't.
It's a thing. Okay, it's a thing that happens every now and then. Every now and then, some reactionary psychopath in like nominally leftist Twitter, like they claim to be a socialist. One of these fucking patriotic socialists or whatever, quote unquote, right? They'll always be like, or just every once in a while, one of them has a take that's like, a barista is not a worker. A barista is not a part of the working class, right? Because they have blue hair and pronouns, because they have tattoos, and because being a barista is like an easy job that like people with humanities degrees get in major cities, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very left.
very, yes, very material analysis. Yes, much relation to the means of production. Very, very good. There was a flare up of it like a couple of weeks ago. So it's like, and some idiot is like, baristas don't actually make anything. They don't produce anything. They're just they're PMC, they're basically bougie or close enough. And
they make the coffee though.
Yeah, that's the response. It's like, so someone said like they don't actually make the coffee, man. Like the growers in like Colombia make it, right? Like the people that package it in South America make it. The barista doesn't actually make anything. They're just like, it's like, oh, here's your cup of beans, sir. It's like, yeah, I thought you were. It's like, yeah, what I meant by I made coffee is that I have become a Colombian farmhand that is like producing the beans, because baristas don't actually produce any value, actually. Yeah, no, I've been brewing coffee because I ran out of pills, and I don't want to get more. I don't want to walk to CVS. So
I see.
So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. And you know what?
Extracting the caffeine from the coffee and then evaporating the coffee, just eating the caffeine.
This is about snorting the powder that remains. Yeah. It was funny. I was like, oh God, no, that was my last caffeine pill, and I'm out of energy drinks. I'm like, oh no, where am I going to get more caffeine? Oh no, what have I? And then I remember, like, oh, like normal people,
coffee.
Yeah, normal people drink it in coffee form, and there's coffee in my house, and there's a coffee maker, so I can just use that. Actually, I was having a crisis. That's all.
I like a good coffee.
I'm not really a huge coffee fan. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but like it's fine, and it's
yeah. It's I've got a electric dirt.
Ugh. I've got a small mason jar of it right here. I'm going to take another... Actually, I have this jar is just the right size that if I fill this jar, it's about 3 or 4 cups worth, which means that that's about as much caffeine as I would get from a caffeine pill. So that's convenient. Same amount. It all works out.
Did you ever... I've never taken caffeine pills. Do you get, like, desensitized to caffeine quicker through pills? Or is it easier to just take too many of them?
Honestly, the worst, like, caffeine jitters I've ever had were from coffee. From, like, drinking an entire pot really fast. And then I would be, like, jittery and, like, feel weird for the rest of the day. I never get that with pills, but it's just because I space them out. I think I probably am pretty, like, desensitized to caffeine. I think I probably am, like, probably have a pretty high tolerance to it, if there is such a thing.
I think it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I drank coffee, it was like, what? And now sometimes, you drink a cup of coffee and you just feel okay, you feel normal. Something has changed.
Yeah. I'm probably pretty deep into, like, caffeine, dependency, addiction, whatever you want to call it. But, like, whatever. That's fine. It's readily available.
It's readily available, and at this point, there's not much I can do about it. Like, you can go, like, caffeine free and, like, swear it off.
Ugh.
But it takes a long time, and apparently you will never be able to be awake again. You'll never be fully alert in the same way if you don't have the caffeine again. I think I've heard, but I could be making that up.
There's no way that's true. What does that mean? You'll never be awake again?
I mean, I said it in a silly way, but, like, if you never take caffeine, you wake up and you go to bed and your energy levels are, like, normal, unblemished or whatever. But if you have caffeine in tea or coffee or energy drinks and you gain a sort of dependence on it, you can quit and you will crash like you would with lots of other, like, substances. But I don't know...
But you'll never uncrash?
You'll get okay, but you'll never... Like, waking up will be hard forever.
I mean, I think it's...
I don't know whether that's a myth.
Hard.
Because
that doesn't sound right.
It seems like it could be a myth, because it could just be, like, people getting older, finding it more difficult to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, that's like that, you ever seen that?
But that is what I heard, so I don't know.
There's that scene from Dexter's Lab, where, when Dexter and Dee Dee drink all the coffee in the house, and then their dad wakes up, and he's like, "You drank all the coffee? We adults need coffee in the mornings. You kids don't need it. No, you've got youth." So, my youth is gone, so I need the coffee now. But fortunately I have it, so it's fine.
I would not recommend coffee to a youngster. I've seen people, like, think it cool and like epic to have their kids drinking coffee at a young age. I think it's cool. Like, that is a child abuse right there. They should be having...
Really? Like the parents that think it's cool to give their kids coffee?
Because they like coffee? I don't know. It's just sort of like, not really a thing children should be having.
I mean...
They have energy. They don't need it.
I mean, it's probably fine. Like, I don't think... I was of the opinion that caffeine is not, like, particularly bad. Like, yeah, kids can have it, and it's okay, but, like, yeah, why?
There's no reason, but it's also, like, if you get, like, a dependence on caffeine, you'll need it, and then without it, like, you get tired more easily. And children usually don't have those problems, but you can introduce those problems at an early age for no reason if they drink coffee early. It's just, like, a strange... silly thing that I've seen somewhere. Didn't like it. Didn't like knowing that they do that.
I'm pretty sure that if you just don't drink caffeine for a while, you will just return to baseline eventually. I'm pretty confident that that's the case. But yeah, if you don't need it, why bother with it? But I'm deep in the cycle. No. I have become one of those. I've become one of everyone, that is to say, somebody who starts their day with caffeine, and that's okay. It's normal.
It is. Okay.
In our society, it's normal. It's normalized. That just makes me normal.
Yep.
Taking a big swig. All right. Well, that's my coffee spiel. Man. Oh yeah. Go on.
I've been playing Outer Wilds recently. You heard of that game?
Outer Wilds. Yeah, I've definitely heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's really good. It's a game where you are a little alien on a little planet, and you have this new technology they've just invented that can translate ancient alien language.
Is it a little
you go
bit,
off on your little spaceship?
No Man's Sky ish?
Very surface level.
Okay.
But nothing's randomly generated. It's a solar system with mysteries to uncover of an ancient alien race that used to live there.
Oh.
And you go out with your little space shuttle and land on these planets. And the scale of the planets is more similar to like Mario Galaxy than it is No Man's Sky, where you see a planet and you zoom in and then you're in the atmosphere and you land, and it's as if you're on just any old video game. But in this game, if you jump and you use your jetpack, most of the time you can get out of the atmosphere of a planet.
You can see the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah. It's really trippy and cool.
That's awesome.
And yeah, you go around. The thing I really like about it, two things. One, the space traversal is like really intuitive. You have like the joystick forward, up and down is using your jetpack or your ship's thrusters forward and backwards. Left and right is left and right, and then to go up and down is the two trigger buttons. And using that, it's very easy to get a grip of like how to move in a specific direction, no matter what orientation you're looking at, because you're always looking straight forward. It's a first-person game, so it always makes sense. And you can lock onto a planet when you're in your spaceship, and it'll tell you like how much further you need to be using the thrusters to the left or the right or up and down to like be in the right, like, traveling velocity is matched. There's like a button you can hold to match the velocity of the thing you are locked onto, and then you're traveling through space with that thing. And then you can sort of like park your ship in a place where if there's no like large bodies like pulling you around with gravity, you can sort of park your ship next to something such that the velocity is perfectly matched, and you can get out of your ship and fly around with your little jetpack, and you can just go back to your ship.
Perfectly match your velocity to what?
To whatever you've locked onto. So if you point your crosshairs at a planet and you lock onto it, you get close to it, you match your velocity. The sun in the center is always going to be pulling on you a little bit, but if you're far away enough from things...
Wait,
it doesn't...
To land on a planet, you have to like match its orbital velocity?
Yeah. So like you're spinning around the sun with this planet at the same rate that it is. And then you start you can, thruster down, land on the planet, and then obviously once you're touching the planet, you're moving through space, cuz it's a very compacted area. You can zoom from one side of the entire solar system very quickly. And it's very exaggerated. Mm-hmm. Like I say, you can jump off some planets.
As any good video game solar system should be.
Yeah, and you can like jump. If you jump at the right time from one planet, you can land on another one with your jetpack.
Oh my god.
It's
that
really
sounds
good.
Awesome. That sounds so cool.
it is really good. It's probably my favorite like space traversal like system. And then beyond that, the mysteries that you can uncover
Very interesting.
are really fun and not too cryptic. They require you to think about like what you're learning and where you can like use the information you gain from like logs of information from one area and then bring it to another to solve a mystery so you can get into a specific location.
So is it just one... Sorry, is it just in one solar system that the game takes place?
Yeah, it's one solar system.
Okay.
And like, if you know where to go, it doesn't take long at all, but
Sure.
figuring out where to go, gathering clues, it's sort of like a point-and-click adventure game, I would say.
Yeah.
Where like an old school one, where you're not given a goal other than explore. We're a race of exploring aliens, and we just want to see what's out there. And then you find what's out there, and you just keep going. And it's like really cool.
That sounds really
I would
cool.
highly recommend Outer Wilds.
Oh, that's enticed me a little bit. Yeah, I might check that out.
Please do. I'm very close to the end of the game, actually. I didn't want to. I'm not spoiling anything with my intro here.
Cool.
So I should be finished. There's only one mystery left I have to figure out. There's a place I haven't been able to get to. So in the comments, don't spoil. No spoil.
Yeah. Stupid commenters. Always
Stupid commenters. Always spoiling.
Everything. Always spoiling.
Spoiling my milk. Spoiling my milk. What else can spoil?
That's it.
Bread.
Just milk. No. Nope.
Bread goes moldy.
Meat can spoil.
Oh yeah.
Cheese. I wouldn't say cheese. Cheese doesn't spoil, but it gets moldy.
It does.
Meat spoils. Milk spoils. I think that's pretty much it. That's like the only two things I would use the word spoils for.
Yeah.
I've not been playing anything. I've just been pretty much just nose to the grindstone, just like editing until I can't fucking stand it anymore.
I can't fucking stand it.
Fucking. It's funny when I hear myself stutter in my vocals. I'm like, what an idiot. It happens sometimes. I think it happens a normal amount of times. Everybody stutters now and then.
Yes.
There was man, I owned a guy on Twitter yesterday.
Oh fuck yeah, bro.
It was this guy. Who he is not important. Except it kind of is. But the gist of it is that he had the most... He just, unironically, in the year of our Lord 2022, unironically posting just like, if I were Shinji, I would have just got in the Eva and like thought it was really cool to fight aliens.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that guy.
A stupid bitch.
It's just like, what was it? I rewatched Ava, and I don't relate to Shinji. What a pussy. And words to that effect.
More or less, just like why is he so all? I can't relate to the fact that like he's handed the chance to save the world, and all he can do is wallow in self-pity. Like, oh, my daddy doesn't like me. Boo hoo.
It's almost just like it's like metaphorical of stuff, and it has themes that are more human than literal. Like, let's kill the bad guy. Even if you
take it literally, he's still. The character is like being asked to fucking put himself in mortal danger, and like every time he does it, he experiences like horrendous pain and suffering. It's like he shouldn't know. This wouldn't feel good, you moron. You fucking imbecile.
Yeah, it is kind of baffling. Like that he would come to such stupid conclusions. Like if I were Shinji, then I would be better and I would win.
I mean, it's baffling, and yet it's like a cliche. Like I would just get in the robot and fight the aliens and fuck the girls. Like, why didn't Shinji just do all those things? Like, that's what I would do. Cool, bro. Happy for you.
He was getting at was like, aren't these
It's
I remember
like
one of them.
That's like Mark Wahlberg saying that if he was on the plane, he would have prevented 9/11.
Yeah,
If I was on that plane, the terrorists wouldn't have won.
It was like he said, like, I get that it's like I understand the show, but and then he says proves he doesn't understand the show. There was a tweet that was just sort of like, I get it, but he doesn't get it.
He definitely does not get it.
I
doesn't get it on any level.
It's
a take that we've all seen it before. It's just surprising to see it. I don't know. People were saying like, "Damn, this is like it's like I'm back on Tumblr in 2008." Like, and someone's posting like, "I would just get in the robot. If I were Shinji, I would be like, hell yeah, I'll get in that cool robot." I'm like, damn,
I think
this guy's behind the discourse.
I think
I've seen this guy before. By the way, this was not the first time I've seen a tweet of his. This guy has had bad takes before, but this one might take the cake. Honestly,
could be. Yeah, I guess if he's done it before, I was gonna say it could be like, oh, a new generation of idiots are coming up, and we've all seen these stupid things before, but they haven't, and now they're doing it again. History is repeating itself, and we were all here to witness it for a second time.
Did I ratio him? Almost. I've almost achieved ratio parity with his original tweet with my reply. Here, I'll just post the link for Eleazar, I guess. This guy, yeah, I've seen this guy before. This guy is like, no joke, this guy is like a French, like, Christo-fascist who, like, works for a DC-based, like, lobbying group that's, like, wants to implement the Christian equivalent of Sharia law in, like, American government. Like, this guy's, like, yeah, haha, this guy had a funny Evangelion take and he's stupid, but, like, he's a literal demon and he doesn't deserve to continue to draw breath. Is
I mean, I could have told you that by the fact that he's got the little check mark.
I mean, yes, and even worse than all that, he's verified on Twitter. Yeah, so, you know, I hate this guy, and here's just one more excellent reason.
I'm sorry if I am triggering you because you watched it at an age where you were like, he's just like me for real. But it's not a great piece of filmmaking.
Oh, yeah. And then, like,
what do you mean filmmaking? It's a character. What? Like, he's criticizing the character, and now he's saying the filmmaking is bad.
He's saying it's a bad...
It's a bad show. Stupid.
He did a thread about it, and then he made, like, an 8 or 9 post thread, and then when he saw that, like, he was getting ratioed, he added, like, 20 more posts to the thread. Yeah, his takes on it are, like, it's just objectively bad filmmaking, though. Like you're supposed to relate to the protagonist, and the fact that I didn't relate to the protagonist because he has a problem, right? Because he feels negative emotions in a scary situation, like, that made it unrelatable to me, and therefore it's just objectively bad filmmaking, right? Like, yeah. And all the she her pronoun people telling me otherwise are just triggered. He immediately went to, like, oops, looks like I've triggered the libs with my shitty Evangelion take.
Oh yeah, this is the one.
It's just parody.
He says,
I
get that it's about being an angsty teenager.
Right.
It isn't, though. It's not about being an angsty teenager. That's not what the show is about.
I mean, I don't see why. I mean, even if it is about that, I mean, Shinji is that, but, like, I don't see.
It's more about abuse than it is about angst. Like, lots of characters can have angst, but Shinji is fucked because of his horrible dad and various other things.
Right. Yeah.
It's about a lot more than just. Remember being a teenager? Remember when your teacher said you had to do your homework and you didn't want to?
Shinji's not like a normal kid. There are other normal kids that you can compare him to in the show, and, like, you can very clearly see, like, no, this is a kid with some specific shit that he's trying to work through. Yeah.
You can bet that if I had been plucked from obscurity at age 13 by a secret government organization to become a badass alien-fighting pilot, I wouldn't have been like, woe is me.
Just unironically, I would have been like, hell yeah. I would have been a much better child soldier than Shinji. Why I wouldn't have been a pussy like Shinji. I would have fought those aliens, man. I don't know. Just
I would have been
terrible.
like, fuck yes, I'm finally being recognized. Like, he's just...
That's a little sad. That's just sad.
Like, I think he's like, maybe he's seen anime where the main character is a nerdy loser who gets transported isekai'd. And then is the coolest badass ever. And that's an obvious power fantasy thing. Neon Genesis Evangelion is not a power fantasy. It's just such a stupid, like, expectation that he has.
He in one of these he says like I would have been like, fuck yes, I'm finally being recognized. Isn't that the whole point of these types of fantasies? Like there's only one thing that an anime can be. And it's a
self-insert fantasy for losers.
And like the fact that Evangelion is not a straightforward power fantasy self-insert thing is like, well it didn't work. It was trying to be this thing and it didn't do it, so it wasn't good. And like I just don't know how to. As I say, this person is not only a moron. This person is evil. This person is objectively evil and a terrible human being. So it's not surprising that a terrible take flowed forth from them. But they are also stupid because their reasoning behind it is like just fucking like child level media literacy going on here. Anyway, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, he's French, so most of his tweets I can't read.
Is he French?
He is, or he lives in France. Yeah, he's French.
He seems to speak
a lot of
English.
his tweets are in. Yeah, he speaks English. I mean, you can tell in the original tweet he gets like the tense wrong on a couple of adjectives or whatever. They don't decline correctly, and like that's fine. Yeah, he's French. You see on his timeline more than half, about a significant amount of his tweets are in French. So that's whatever. And yet he works for a DC based like a Christian lobbying collective or whatever, which is weird. Well,
I thought you meant DC like the comics.
No, like Washington DC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Washington DC comics.
Yes, my favorite. That's all my hastily written notes about things that happened this week.
Yeah. You know what? I have one last thing.
What's that?
It's a very stupid thing. It will only take a second. I don't know where Philadelphia is, in what state it is. I know Philadelphia is a place where Will Smith was born and raised. On the playground is where he spent most of his days, but in West Virginia. But like Philadelphia. But where is it?
I think it's in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
You probably don't know where Pennsylvania is either.
I mean, it's East Coast, not coast, but close East area.
Yeah, it's like not. Okay, I mean, yeah. There's America, and then there's the East Coast, and like the northernmost part of the East Coast is New England. That's like Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont and Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Connecticut. And I think that's it. And then if you go sort of west from there, you eventually hit the Great Lakes. And sort of the area like south of the Great Lakes and just to the east of the Great Lakes, that's what's called the Rust Belt. And Pennsylvania is kind of in the region like between like New England and the Rust Belt. Cause
I hear like Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois,
but nobody ever says Philadelphia.
Nobody ever says Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because it's got too many syllables, I guess.
It does have a lot of syllables. Yeah, no, you're right. I think I feel you on that one. I think I didn't know what state it was in for a while.
All right, thank God that I'm not stupid.
No, I even like passed through it, like when I my commute. Or not my commute. My trip to and from college back in the day used to go through Philadelphia, and I still was like, I didn't. How do you know you're in Pennsylvania? You don't. Honestly, yeah, the whole like Rust Belt New England like area, it's like all these states just kind of go together, and it's like, am I in New Jersey? Am I in New York? Am I in Pennsylvania? Am I in Connecticut? Rhode Island? Whatever. It's all just fucking there, man. It's all just mashed together. Who gives a shit? It's all just woods.
It's all just landmass, soon to be destroyed by hurricanes.
No borders. Abolish ice.
From going from New Hampshire to Maine. What do they have up there?
Maine is Maine is the toppermost the toppermost one. Where all the lobsters live and the moose.
The rain in Maine falls mostly on the Spain.
That's how you know you're in Maine, is you go and you see moose. Well, I guess they have moose in like Vermont too. They have maple syrup in Vermont. They have lobsters in Maine. They have beans in Massachusetts. They have Dell's lemonade in Rhode Island.
They have cookies in Maryland.
Cookies?
Because the Maryland brand cookies are popular over here, so I know Maryland cookies.
I don't even know
if you have those.
I'm not even familiar with that. No.
Let me type
That's
that in.
That's an export on. Ooh, from exotic Maryland. I mean, the British probably hear that and they're like, oh, like Queen Mary? I love the Queen.
Yeah, remember her?
Remember Queen Mary? No.
I put an image of it. The original Maryland cookies.
What the fuck are these? What the hell is this?
They're fucking Maryland cookies.
I don't even know.
They're chocolate chip cookies. They're from Maryland.
They're probably made in Beijing.
No, it can't be.
I don't know. I'm not. No. Not familiar.
All right. Well, now we got to find out, because if they're not even an American thing, that would be very funny.
There might be more than one place called Maryland. There might be other. Yeah, Maryland cookies are a brand name of cookie produced by Burton's Biscuit Company in the United Kingdom.
What the fuck?
That's so funny.
Burton's Biscuit Company is a British biscuit manufacturer, but why?
Why are they called that? Why are they called that though?
They started making chocolate chip cookies, cold Maryland cookies, in 1956. But why?
But why? It's literally just like this is cultural appropriation. This is like when that white lady made a cookbook about dumplings and noodles and it was really racist of her. This is like you're that's what you're doing to me.
There's only one sentence of background information. I was under the impression that the reason we call like cookies, where you consider the word cookie to be chocolate chip cookies, is because the popularity of Maryland cookies being specifically chocolate chip, and then the fact that you call all biscuits cookies was confusing to us. But
sorry,
but they were always from the UK.
You've done this to yourself.
We've done it to us. We've gaslit ourselves into being stupid. This is a massive revelation. And why is there no information about it?
I think you've mentioned this before, and I think I have. I didn't know what you were talking about.
I guess we just didn't get into it at the time. Maybe you just assumed it was a brand you weren't aware of.
Yeah, if you search Maryland cookies, some of the suggested result is, are Maryland cookies American? Answer, no.
All right, our story. I'm on Burton's Biscuit Company. Since the very beginning, our story's been about baking really great biscuits that people love.
Here, I found a CBS News article called "There's a UK cookie named after..." Oh my god.
What?
I thought it was going to I thought it was going to ad block me, so I couldn't read the article, but no. Yeah, there's a popular cookie in the UK, and it's named after Maryland. There's no explanation. No, there's no explanation as to why. It's just like, hey, did you know this exists? Okay, bye.
I guess it could be.
In Mexico. In Mexico, there's a grape flavored soda called Delaware Punch. What the fuck? Exotic Delaware.
Our brands. Tell me about your brands. Tell me about Maryland cookies. Find out more. You're not going to tell me anything, are you? No, it's just all the things you can sell.
Oh, it's not carbonated. So it's not, why do they call it soda? Delaware, okay, the brand is currently owned by Coca-Cola Company, but it has been discontinued. The Wikipedia article of Delaware Punch doesn't show, like, the branding or anything. It just shows, like, a cup of it. I want to see, like, what the bottle looks like. Bro. Weak.
It's not just that it's like, oh, it's English. It's that there's no reason. I thought there would be, like, I got the recipe from a Maryland resident, like something.
There must be a story behind it, or like if there's no story behind it, then like the only explanation must be like there must have been something that made them think that calling them Maryland cookies would make them appealing, and like
I mean, Maryland is a cute word, I suppose. But like I had no idea that it was an American place. Okay, check this out. Delaware Punch is named for the Delaware grape. So it's like sort of named after the fruit that it's flavored from. So like, okay, there is a reason for that. It's not named after Delaware the state, it's named after the Delaware grape. A cultivar derived from the grape species whatever, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I found the same news
CBS article.
Yeah. But
okay, I'm gonna directly ask Google, why are they called Maryland cookies?
have you found that like a lot of news articles are barely more than a tweet these days? There's just nothing in them. There's no journalism going on. They're just mentioning something. I found that with the BBC recently. It's just sometimes the BBC mentions that there's things happening, and that's it. There's no like, why is it happening? At all. It's like, okay, why what? There was this thing that was going on where, like, there was disturbance. There were people being disturbing in Leicester. And police were making many arrests. And I couldn't get any information from the BBC as to what was being fought over, who was fighting, why were they fighting. And I had to go elsewhere, and it was like, oh, there's like a war, there's kind of a complicated ethnic like fight between Hindus and Muslims in the area. And it sort of got sparked from a cricket game that turned into a riot of some kind, or you know, like a punch up. And it's like, it's a lot more complicated, but the BBC had no information about any of that. They didn't even seem to care to look into it. They just said the police have made many arrests. The police say the disturbance will be contained. The end.
Excellent. How reassuring.
It's just like, okay, where's the journalism? I kind of like journalism when it's interesting. Like I want to find out stuff. I want to know.
I found another article that's about Maryland cookies, but it's not about it. It mentions they were made in the UK, but it's not like, it doesn't explain it. It goes on to be like, here's how we handled a like the marketing the launch of like a new flavor or something. So nothing. No.
Well,
no help there.
This is a new mystery. This is a new mystery that needs solving.
Oh well, some things mankind was just not meant to know. Some things.
I was going to go to Maryland, and I was going to say, where's the cookie factory? And they say, what's a cookie? We don't know that. Maybe if we go to
their, like, official website.
I did.
I'm going to go to... Oh, you did? Okay.
There was nothing there. It's just sort of like, here's the different... We got the Maryland cookie hazelnut. The mini cookies. Isn't it cool? Wouldn't you like to buy them?
Oh, they make Jammy Dodgers as well.
Oh, they do? I didn't realize.
Yeah. They have it on their brand.
Those dammy Dodgers.
They
made
wagon wheels. Yeah.
Do you have dammy Dodgers and wagon wheels?
Oh, I saw a post. Maybe it was this week. It was from Java Giga, and it was about like, I don't know. It basically just posted like a wall of like different Hostess products and was like, can't believe none of these taste good now that I'm a grown-up. And like, I actually hadn't tried a lot of them. Like, I've never had donut sticks. I've never had there's a lot of them that I was just
Donut
actually,
sticks.
Yeah, donuts sticks, baby. Yeah. I think some of them though. I think some Hostess stuff would probably still taste good. But a lot of them, yeah, I probably think would taste like shit now. Cosmic brownies are shit. Oh, there were a lot of Cosmic Brownie defenders in the comments, and those people are stupid. Cosmic Brownies have always been shit. They were never even good, even when you were a kid, actually. And that's just an objective fact. Because I just don't relate to Cosmic Brownies. Like, why are they such pussies? Why do they have the little stars on them? Like, I would just pilot
the cookies.
I would just jump in your mouth. Stars or no.
I'm looking more at the Burton's biscuit. Apparently they own the rights to Marmite, or they make Marmite biscuits.
Gross.
Like a savory I can't imagine what that tastes like. But they have a funny did you know section. They say Marmite is the #1 most confiscated food product at London City Airport.
Why?
I don't know. They're just... Isn't that interesting? People bring in Marmite and it gets confiscated. They can't get enough. They can't get enough of it. They want to...
Why does it get confiscated? It says that on their website?
Yeah.
What? I mean, is that... Yeah, I see it. Marmite is the number... But, like... I mean, is that good?
Maybe it's like people really want to bring Marmite on the plane, but it's in a container of liquid that is too large. And you can't have liquids that are that large in a container.
I've never had Marmite, but I've had Vegemite, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
It's similar-ish. I think I've had Vegemite once, and it was just sort of like, yeah, that's the sort of like weird, tangy, sticky flavor.
Yeah.
Marmite is probably stronger, I think.
I see. Well, yeah, I had Vegemite once, and I was like, you know, they told me, like, only use a little bit of it. So I only used a little bit, and I was like, yeah, kind of like salty, tangy, fermented flavor. Wasn't super into it.
You gotta have Marmite on a crumpet.
But I thought maybe I could get used to it. On a crumpet?
Yeah, a buttered crumpet with Marmite on top. That's the best place for Marmite for me.
I did have a crumpet once, and I liked it. I thought it was very funnily enough, I thought the crumpet was very similar to an English muffin, which I guess they don't have in England. Oh yeah, you've got Maryland cookies. We've got English muffins.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I think we did. I had an English muffin for breakfast, so I guess they do sell them here. I don't know where they're from though. It would be funny if they are from America.
Well, we got to find out now.
We got to find out. This is a Food Network.
I think.
Oh, it's not a brand, it's just a thing, so where is it from?
Yeah.
Origin.
Is there a Wikipedia article? Yes, there is.
First recorded Oh, it's a very old thing.
The bell ringing of muffin men became so common that by 1839 the British Parliament passed a bill to prohibit bell ringing by muffin men, but it was not adhered to by sellers. In 1861, good quote-unquote good-sized muffins from street sellers were commonly sold for a halfpenny each. Crumpets were about a penny. Okay, so a crumpet costs twice as much as an English muffin. What the fuck?
Which part did you... Oh, bell ringing. Okay.
Yeah, under Origin. Muffin men were... Bell ringing is prohibited for muffin men.
You know, it makes sense. The Muffin Man, like an old-timey... And then that...
Okay.
And it wouldn't have been like the extremely sugary muffins that we know of, that I think of. Because sugar's quite expensive, so...
Yeah. I guess I never thought about it. Okay, so I didn't even know this. That, a muffin man was just something you called just like a guy who sold like cakes, little confections,
little muffins.
A street vendor. Yeah, okay.
English muffins are sometimes referred to simply as muffins in the UK. Well, that's not true. American-style muffins are occasionally referred to as American muffins. No, not for me. When I think of muffin, I think of the American-style sugary, like Splodo out the little cupcake thing.
From the Seinfeld episode with Top of the Muffin to you.
Yeah.
You seen that? You seen that one?
I haven't seen
Elaine,
Seinfeld.
I think it's Elaine. You've never seen Seinfeld, like, at all?
No, I've never gotten around to it. It was never like on TV when I was young. We had Friends on all the time, and like, and Fresh Prince.
Well, I guess I never really watched much Friends. I'm pretty sure Seinfeld is better than Friends. I think I'm confident.
Friends
in that take.
is boring. I never was into Friends that much. I just, when I was young, it was just sort of like, I love that theme song, and then people talk, and there's a laugh track, and I assume it's funny.
God,
Fresh Prince was actually good. I loved Fresh Prince.
The increasing popularity of flatbread muffins is attested by the existence of muffin men, a type of hawker who would travel door to door selling English muffins as a snack bread before most homes had their own oven. Man, okay, before most homes had their own ovens, I imagine someone today, like, going door to door. Like, would they come up and knock on your door? Imagine getting a knock on your door and it's someone like, hey, you want to buy some muffins? I mean, I guess, like, Girl Scouts still do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would annoy the shit out of me.
I mean, you're not a muffin boy. You don't like muffins, I guess.
It's not that I don't.
It's just,
I mean, I
it's
do,
one of those,
I don't...
like, people coming to your door is just a thing that doesn't happen unless you've ordered something and it to be delivered.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess back in the day, maybe it was just more
It's more communal, especially if it's, like, in a city and everyone's, like, in, like, tiny apartments really close together.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, it's me, the Muffin Man, of down the old cobbled street. Get your muffins.
A well-known reference to English muffins is in Oscar Wilde's 1895 play, The Importance of Being Earnest. I'm still not seeing, like, why these muffins in particular are called English muffins.
Whoa, hang on. Something the mayor.
I guess they're just called it to distinguish them from the American style, I guess.
Samuel Barth Thomas.
I guess this is the same reason that everyone else calls it American football.
Using his mother's recipe, he began making English muffins in 1880 in New York, selling them to hotels. They were soft and spongy before baking like traditional muffins. Appears to be fork split prior to toasting, blah blah blah. They became popular as an alternative to toast. Something Muffin House.
All I'm saying is just that when I think of a crumpet, I think of, like, oh, it's an inside-out English muffin.
Okay, so the answer to
English muffin with no crust. That's what I think of a crumpet is.
The answer to the question then is it was from an Englishman who emigrated to the US that the term for the current understood English muffin product.
He branded them as English muffins because muffins were already a thing.
Yes, and apparently today the company is owned by Bimbo Bakeries USA.
No way.
Bimbo Bakeries USA. Let me see.
Is that like Femboy Hooters? Bimbo Bakery?
I don't know. Is the American corporate north of the border arm of the Mexican multinational bakery Grupo Bimbo.
I want to go to Bimbo Bakery. That sounds awesome.
So there's a Mexican multinational bakery product manufacturing company called Grupo Bimbo, and they now own the English muffin north of the border.
You're jerking me around here.
Grupo Bimbo. Right.
You're telling me that Maryland cookies are British and English muffins are Mexican.
English muffins are owned currently by a Mexican company.
Oh, look at this. Bimbo Bakery, Spanish pronunciation Bimbo. So it's the same. Okay. Yeah.
Grupo Bimbo.
Grupo Bimbo. Hell yeah.
Well,
what can I say other than fantastic? Well, how do we get on this subject from crumpets?
I have no idea.
You mentioned a crumpet in some.
It's because of Maryland cookies, and I forget why I brought those up.
Ah, well. Well, we sure have learned
We sure have learned
a
about
lot.
The Bimbo Bakeries is probably my favorite.
What do they make anything else besides soccer sponsorship? Sara Lee acquisition. Wait, it had agreed to acquire the North American fresh bakery business. Okay, so it acquired part of the Sara Lee Corporation in 2010. Okay. Oh, they make Bimbo Bakery makes Arnold stuff. They make Entenmann's. No shit. I love Entenmann's.
Well, they own Entenmann's.
Right, yeah, that's a brand of under the Bimbo umbrella. Oh, wow. Okay. I have not heard of a lot of these other. Oh, J.J. Nissen, I know that one. Producer of bread commonly found in New England. Okay. Fucking
Bimbo.
They make Thomas's. Oh my god, yeah, When I think English muffin, the brand I think of is Thomas's, and yeah, it turns out Bimbo owns Thomas's. So yeah, there you go. Wow.
Bimbo supremacy.
Bimbo supremacy. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I love English muffins. They're a favorite. They're a favorite of mine. Yeah, so I mean, good for them. Just one more reason to love Bimbos, I guess. Damn. Wait a minute. Stop. Hold on. It says that the company was founded in 1998.
Which company?
Bimbo Bakeries. Or maybe that's the.
Well, it's the north of the border arm of the Grupo Bimbo. So, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So Grupo Bimbo, if you go to that page,
Grupo Bimbo is back from like 1945.
1945, and they did a lot.
Wow, they've received accolades. Oh wow, look at all. There's the accolades section of the Grupo Bimbo Wikipedia page. They've received accolades every year since 2011. That's very impressive of them. Oh, for the fourth time in 2020, for the fourth time in a row, Ethisphere Institute recognized Grupo Bimbo as one of the world's most ethical companies. No, how about that? Wow, doesn't that make you think? Man, I'm getting hungry. Damn it! Fuck, shit, I'm getting really hungry now. You want to go to voicemails?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I've downloaded them all, but we can just listen to them.
Oh my god, are there a lot more?
There's honestly less than there used to be. There used to be all like, wait a minute, I have it set to 100 per. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There's 30, but like a lot of them are just spam.
Okay.
All right. So I think the first one is called Cell. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Pro Crastinators. It is I, perfectly continent Cell. I have been engineered by Dr. Gero using the fecal matter of the most elite warriors in this universe to be the next step in evolution. The perfect life form. You foolish podcasters have a long and stubborn history of refusing to shit. This holy ichor,
dry dump December,
that
baby,
flows freely from my lower abdomen is not a sign of shame, but an indicator of my complete and utter superiority over your entire species.
Okay.
Prepare to die.
Very impressive.
No.
I've never seen the Cell Saga. I've seen early DBZ, and I've seen like the Boo Saga ending of it. I've never seen the Gohan Cell stuff.
I quite liked Cell. I liked him less when he was Perfect Cell and they did the tournament, because it was just sort of like, and then they fight and they win.
Right.
But the whole Android stuff with the Red Ribbon Army things is quite good.
Yeah,
and then Trunks coming back and using a sword.
I didn't have didn't have cable as a kid, so when we finally got cable, that was the first time I could watch DBZ, and it was all the way in the Boo era, so that was when I started watching it. And like I heard about the older stuff, but I went back and I rewatched just the very beginning of it, the Frieza bits. Next one is called "Hey Ben, new fan here. Who is Trixie and why is it funny they?" Oh, sorry, you didn't finish your question, so I can't answer. Yeah. Next one is called hashtag bring Trixie back. I assume it's from the same person who doesn't know who she is, but nevertheless wants her back. Next one is SIM card, no service. Okay. Next one is called hypothetical NFTs. Here's a real one. 3, 2, 1, go.
An artist I follow was approached and asked to make an NFT of one of their works. The artist explained to the prospective buyer that it was a dumb idea, wouldn't really provide value, wasn't a good investment, and would be bad for the environment. The prospective buyer acknowledged this and still offered tens of thousands of dollars. So the artist accepted the money, created the NFT, and spent a good chunk of the proceeds overcorrecting for the carbon emitted through carbon offsets. This isn't an offer, but, as a hypothetical, would you be comfortable creating and selling an NFT in a situation like that?
I'm sorry, tens of thousands of dollars for one NFT?
I guess.
I mean, I know that they have.
If you could hypothetically you could offset the negative, the carbon emission stuff. I think the difficulty is just that it existing legitimizes NFTs further, which does like generally more damage than you can like just pay for.
This is not a scenario that I've ever heard of. I've never heard of like an NFT guy comes to an artist and says, "Hey artist, I will give you tens of thousands of dollars right now if you will let me mint your piece. One piece of yours." I've never heard. I don't believe it. I just don't think that happens.
No, if anything, they would steal the art and just make the NFT anyway.
The money in NFTs, the money in NFTs is from doing the big drops of like the big sets of, the algorithmically generated, the character sets.
Yeah.
But
they say it's a hypothetical. So in the hypothetical scenario, I would still feel a little iffy about it.
Honestly,
because
okay.
the overall effect is not merely the one transaction. The transactions will continue if the thing gets traded a lot. And so over its lifetime, an NFT will rack up, like, gas costs. It's just like, I'd rather it not exist.
I mean, okay, but like, I don't think one NFT is like tens of thousands of dollars in damage to the environment. I mean, I think honestly, I think if someone gave me tens of thousands of dollars to make one NFT, like, I think I could live with myself.
Yeah,
it would be their problem.
I don't think they meant that the environment cost would be 10,000, but like you would get money, and some of that could be used to offset the carbon damage.
I wouldn't feel bad about minting one NFT. Like, I wouldn't think that was like a terrible crime that I had committed or anything. Yeah, I would accept thousands of dollars for someone to mint one NFT, because it's not going to keep selling. Like, I know it's a waste of resources, but like these things are not going to continue to circulate. Nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to balance.
I would just think that buyer was wasting their money. I would think they were a sucker and a sap, and I would let them pay me for essentially nothing. Sure, why not? That's just not how it works. That's just not how it works in practice.
No, it's not how it works. I think there's more damage. I don't know whether it's like worth, like the damage to your reputation. Is it worth thousands of dollars? If people think you're an NFT shill, would you lose thousands of dollars worth of new potential work? I don't know how to gauge that exactly.
Well, in the described scenario, I wouldn't go on Twitter and advertise my NFT because I'd already have the money and I wouldn't need to do that.
But like the thing would be an NFT. Would they not like say from Ben Saint? Ben Saint original NFT official.
I would just say, okay, yeah, maybe this guy, he goes to his social media and he proclaims, guys, I have minted an artwork made by Ben Saint, that Ben Saint piece that everybody loves so much. It's on the blockchain. You can buy the NFT of it. I would just say, like, yeah, I let him do that because he gave me tens of thousands of dollars, and like, for nothing. I don't know. That's it. I mean, I don't think it would sell. But even if it did, like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I would not become an NFT shill because I don't believe in the NFT business model. But if someone gave me a bunch of money to make an NFT, like one and done thing that I never have to think about again, sure.
I mean, I think the root of this is like this guy's asking, could NFTs be good if hypothetical like scenario is favorable to you? And I'm like, well, yeah. If there were no problem with like the carbon emissions and all of the other things that make NFTs stupid, I wouldn't mind, honestly.
You've described a very specific scenario where the deck is stacked such that like this NFT transaction is very favorable, and it just doesn't really by and large it doesn't go like that. I think that answers the question.
Yes.
Okay. Next one is an Imgur album.
Every squad got the, and it's a bunch of it's the PCP.
The dyke, racist, the
Italian.
this motherfucker, the funny one, American serial killer. Every squad got American serial killer, Endless Jess. The fat bitch. I look cool here. The Sasuke. The motherfucking roach. What the fuck?
I really
this must
like
be based on something else.
Oh no, it's definitely a meme I've seen, not with these specific terms, but just sort of like every squad has the list of completely insane things that not every squad actually has.
I've seen the every squad got the. I've seen that format before, but like these choices are so specific, they must be based on a specific like iteration of that. Like why would they put Jeff? Why would they put 9? Jeff and? Well, I mean, I'd pick Devu. If I were picking 9 PCP members, I would go with Devu. This must be because it matches some whatever was here in the original version.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I like how I look in this. That's a good eye.
I like how I look as well. I think that looks awesome. Look at that slime. Delicious. Like Nate's shiny forehead. Okay.
Oh yeah, you've kind of got like one of those big like reggae beanies.
Is that what that is?
Where just sort of like it bloops backwards and is a whole other lump underneath, like a big hat.
I don't wear a hat like that in real life, but I mean I could. Next one is called "Hey Ben, new fan here. Are you getting the new Call of Duty? I can't wait." Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be in there.
Oh, your recording was too short. We couldn't hear the end of that.
Next, Ben's weekly reminder: play Delta Rune Chapter 2. Okay. Ben's weekly reminder: catch up to One Piece. Okay. Next one is: I love that Trixie blamed YouTube for her channel failing. 3, 2, 1, go.
Is that Cult Corona?
I mean, we all know Cult Corona was transformed by the trans beam in the events of Road to Radcon and became Corona-chan, aka the coronavirus. So,
yes.
Who knows what could have happened since then?
Did Trixie blame YouTube for her channel failing? I didn't watch that video.
She did. I wouldn't say that she like exclusively blamed it, but she did say that like, yeah, YouTube doesn't promote my videos anymore, and that's why I can't. She did mention it as a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really like, do you know who Jack Saint is?
Twitter man. I don't know what he does.
Well, he is a Twitter man. I mean, he was a YouTube man. I mean, he still is a YouTube man. He was away for a while, but he's back to making videos. Yeah, I saw him saying like YouTube is suppressing my new video. I thought it was cringe. I thought it was a little cringe. I like that guy, and I have liked his videos before, but
it is kind of
video. Yeah, his new video was first of all, he said so like literally like 1 hour after the video went live. He was like, "I'm looking at the metrics, and I'm sure that that YouTube is suppressing it." And it's like, I mean, it might be not pushing it as hard as usual because it doesn't like the title or the keyword or something like that. Sure, that kind of thing does happen.
I mean, a lot of the time it could be because of lack of frequency of uploads and doesn't push the new one quite so much. I mean, I know that it's funny because these things are true to a certain extent, but it's sort of weird to blame them when you don't actually know why. You can make inferred guesses, but it seems kind of like pointless to blame the algorithm for a video not working when it could just be that people aren't interested.
Looking at that, I kind of thought that like there were probably other explanations for why that video wasn't doing well than that like some sort of he seemed to say that like YouTube was deliberately suppressing it because it was about YouTube creator burnout, and like I kind of think that what's more likely there is just maybe YouTube doesn't like it when you call a video something about YouTube burnout. Like it might not like that title. The algorithm might think that that's like bad. I could believe that. I could also just believe that like people aren't that interested in watching a video about a YouTuber explaining like how they got burned out because like who cares?
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people do it. A lot of people fall into that trap, and it's kind of dumb, and like there's a little truth to it, but
there's a little truth. There's just not enough truth to like.
I think it's true so much less often.
Like
it's true so much less often than it's claimed.
Yeah, I would assume that is it's
so, I mean,
complained about more. And well, the thing is that even if it's justified, I'm not interested in people complaining about it.
Right.
It just annoys me a little.
Yeah.
Because complaining about it does not make the YouTube algorithm like you more. It is not a solution to this problem. Whining to YouTube will never do anything. We know this. Just continually make videos. I mean, YouTube is harsh. The algorithm is harsh.
It's a little bit...
But people can still... I mean...
Honestly, people can still find your videos. And honestly, whenever I see that, it's like... This is definitely the case for when Trixie did it. It's like, what she meant by... I'm being suppressed by the algorithm, like my videos are not being shown to people. Like what that actually means is just the algorithm is not boosting me anymore. The algorithm's not helping me and pushing me the way it used to. Right? The algorithm can push you and boost you and put your video in front of other people, but it can't stop people from finding your video if they want to watch it. Right? So like it's not like YouTube is hiding your video. It's that YouTube isn't promoting it, which is not the same thing. So I think it's wrong to see it like, YouTube is artificially suppressing me. It's more like YouTube is no longer artificially boosting me. That's the difference. And that's what I hear when I see people complain about that.
I have heard reports of like certain keywords being said in a video will cause it to be like blacklisted, or certain creators to be blacklisted, like Alex Jones or something, for things he says, and then they target them, and I'm like, okay, I can see that is probably
what do you mean by blacklisted?
Blacklisted meaning that it's hard to find, even if you type in their name, there'll be videos that come up that are not of them, but are about them by other people. And I'm like, okay, well, that's potentially a thing. I think it's usually annoying to me because it's an individual complaining about their specific situation rather than a video talking about all of the available evidence and what we actually do know for sure, and what is most likely and least likely on a larger scale. I think I would be interested in a video about the algorithm with that, but largely we just can't know because it's this insane
we don't
black
know.
box.
And that's deliberate. Like the algorithm is deliberately mysterious. They don't want us to know how it works.
Yeah, I think you can in hindsight find out what the algorithm was doing. You can't really figure it out currently. You need a lot of reference points, a lot of data to come up to a conclusion. And individuals saying that they think their thing is being suppressed, I'm like, I just don't know whether you know what you're talking about. You probably don't.
What's more likely? What's more likely that like that's really happening, or just that like the algorithm has defavored you in a way that makes you think it's happening? And like the latter is just more likely most of the time. It requires extraordinary evidence to really demonstrate like, yes, this is a deliberate conspiracy by YouTube to suppress my content.
Yep.
Okay. Next one is called Happy Birthday, Ben. Okay, thank you. The next one after that is called An Innocent Request for the Host, Ben Saint, from Gib I Love You at gibmail.love. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, Ben Saint, why don't you suck my butt?
Why don't I?
Yeah. Why don't you, Ben?
I have no answer. I can't think of an answer. So, I mean, I guess I should. I should be sucking your butt. Thanks for the voicemail. Next one is called Trad Yig Mayfuckers from Beat My Ass at Like Drum. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, do you think that when Winnie the Pooh is growing up, do you think he's like going through Pooh Bear tea?
What?
Pooh Bear tea.
What?
Yeah.
Do I think that Winnie the Pooh is going up through Pooh Bear Key?
Oh, puberty, but Pooh Bear.
Oh, he's
tea.
growing up through Pooh Bear tea. Oh, okay, he did something. Yeah, I didn't catch it, but you got it. Yeah, neat. Hey, man, good job. Good voicemail.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah, my one criticism would be don't talk with your mouth full, but other than that, solid voicemail. Next one is called Pain. 3, 2, 1, go.
Pain, misery, and more pain. 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 It's the year 2021. Pain. Ben Saint Imperial Calendar. Month 3. Pain. Day 13. Pain. After his kidney stone yielded many clones. Pain. They proceeded to rape and pillage our lands. Pain. Governments fell apart. The world collapsed. Pain. World order is in chaos. We all live in shacks. Me and my neighbors, pain. Misery. Everyone lives in shacks. He sends his clones out twice a week to piss test everyone. Everyone lives in shacks. Everyone lives in pain. If you find someone not on keto, pain. I was out looking for food scrounging the lands yesterday. I came across pain. I think to myself, water's keto friendly. He's on his throne drinking Bang Energy and we just get Monster Zero. Pain. Nate, you should be the most worried. After everything collapses, he takes your enterprises, becomes best guy ever, locks you in a cell, and you only get pain. And he laughs every time. He loves pain. PCP, pain. PC pain. Destroy his kidney stones. Kill Ben Saint, 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 kill Ben Saint
Yeah,
I was
That's
waiting.
right.
I was waiting for it to go pain, but he didn't do it.
I mean, what can I say other than I agree?
Yes.
Next one is called Mikey Tyke. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so my dumbass fucked up and I wasn't sure if the message quality was great, so I'm gonna record this one again. Fish up you, this is a thread, this is not a voicemail. If you don't not let my if you don't let my fucking message go, the one of the weed, I'll fucking minion. Smoking the weed messages constantly, man. There's just nothing about it. Boy, want to go get drunk at Stratton
I mean,
I love these.
These are, there's artistry to these, but like they don't say anything.
No, they're like the YouTube poop like audio logs that you would find in Fallout.
Something like that. Well, I think there's another one here because the next one is called Duh Oi Duh. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, it is I, Dork Jesus again. And I think I might have messed up a little bit. Ever since I released the Nate Bestman diss track, which is completely destroyed, best guy ever, he will never recover.
In shambles.
It seems that the PCP voicemail and also the Kiwi Farms have gone down, and that's not very good. Also, my son, the baby, he died.
Jesus.
And that's also not good. So yeah. I was wondering...
I would say those are equally bad.
How do you deal with not having a child? Because I currently do not have one, as he has died in a brush fire. Thank you.
A brush
Give me money.
Damn, that's fucking rough. That's fucking rough as shit. God, the audio quality on that was horrible. Did you hear it, like, ringing?
Yeah, he was inside a cave. He was inside a like long tube.
It was like whenever he was speaking, there was like a just barely audible like dog whistle, like high pitched sound accompanying it. It sounded like horrible. But anyway, how do I deal with not having a child? Very carefully. Oh yeah,
it can happen at any moment.
Okay. Sorry about your loss. Did you? Kiwi Farms is down.
Did we not mention that when that happened?
I don't know if we did mention it. I admit, I do miss it a little bit because I would occasionally check up with the Trixie thread and just see what was going on with that. I know.
Lame.
I didn't post in it, but I did check it occasionally. I acknowledge that it's probably, a good thing on the whole that it's gone. But yeah, I have one less thing that I read now, so
it's never good to like fester, I would say.
Yeah, it's probably better this way for me, even just for me personally. It's probably better. A clean break.
Yes.
Not that there was going to be any news about that ever again. I mean, well, hopefully.
Now they've got Wee Farms, the new site.
Is that true?
No, I don't know. I mean, they're probably doing something.
Last I checked, it was still gone. But I'd heard some people saying that it was just moving somewhere. So
they definitely would want to, because what else?
Joshua Moon seemed confident that it was going to come back. Actually, wait. I mean, let me just check. No. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working. So I guess it's still down. That's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's definitely good. Let there be no doubt that I think Kiwi Farms is bad, and it's good that it's gone. I'll just need to find something else to do with whatever amount of time I might have spent reading it. Just gotta wean myself off that, so that's fine. Next one is, where was I?
Son of Marowak.
Son of Marowak, yes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey Ben, congratulations on shaving your head. This may be the first time, but I hope that it won't be the last time.
Oh, yeah.
May every week bring you bliss, with every hair removed. Congratulations. Welcome to the Bald Club.
Oh, yeah. I've met Son of Marowak. He's bald as well. So
you're in the Bald Club now.
You know, it's been like maybe 3 or 4 days since I reshaved my head, and it's actually quite a bit. It actually requires maintenance to maintain the like smooth bald, and instead of just having like you really got to keep on it. It grows back quite fast.
All you got to do is add like tons of stress into your life to get all those hairs to fall out for good.
Now we're talking.
Concentrated stress pills.
Yeah. The thing you want to avoid is self-care, actually.
Yeah, you want to avoid self-care. You want to get cancer. That'll speed it up.
That's I mean, if you can get that, then like, problem solved.
You could probably just take chemo without having cancer and just get the effects of the hair falling out anyway.
I think so. I don't see why not.
It would just be like very expensive and for no reason.
Sure. And like, but whatever. Doctors have to do it. If you tell them you want it, they have to give it to you. They took an oath. So, there you go. Easy. Problem solved. Next one is Son of Marowak, the second one. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, well, you can tell I didn't finish listening to the episode. Congratulations on shaving your head at least the second time, or at least not the first time, whatever. Either way, again,
right. To the I did it once before,
Club again. May you keep shaving your head for many days to come.
I will continue.
Good job.
I'll do it for. You know what? I'm gonna do. I think I'll wait maybe like 2 more months or something of minoxidil and just see what happens. And I mean, if nothing happens there, then like I'll probably just keep shaving my head. And that's fine. Next one is Piano Guy from Chillin' Chocolate. 3, 2. Oh god, it's 1:30. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, 3 things. 1, Piano Guy. Said you wanted to join the NPC, join our RFCK, and DM me. Piano Guy. Second of all, message for my favorite PCP member, probably. Ben Saint. You punk bitch motherfucker. Listen, I had to deal with 18 years of being a piano guy. So when you, a fake piano guy, say, I'm already seething in my seat, okay? Then you say you baptize a piano guy. What the fuck, you fake fan? You can't baptize piano guys. You baptize 8 guys. Get out of here. And finally,
Daft Punk song.
I did it. I asked the girl out, and she said, even though no one has an investment in this piano guy, the answer will only be given on Piano Guy CP episode. Everyone, go now. Except it's probably not out, but go.
I can't believe you baptized that piano guy.
I have
Eleazar, put the sound of the piano that when I said that.
It was I have yet to have one of these that is like, oh, I remember that voicemail. These are all just like, I don't remember when any of these came from.
No.
There's just been so many. Next one is, okay, well, there's a bunch of YouTube links, and then whoever posted them says, glad I can finally send YouTube links again. I missed it. Hey, man, appreciate it. Thanks for that. You're just making this list faster to go through, I guess, is one way to look at it. Next one is called More Mega Man Stuff. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey Ben, so we already know Mega Man Legends is pretty based.
Pretty
but have you ever
based.
played Command Mission?
No.
It's not like the most amazing RPG, but it's Mega Man.
I've
It's
heard
fun, so yeah.
I've heard negative things about Command Mission, although I thought it looked interesting, but I haven't played it. I have heard that it's not great, but I would give it a chance, except it just seems like it's really long, and I don't know if I'm really feeling starting up like a long RPG at this point in my life. I don't know. I've seen some of the cutscenes. They look fine.
More like cutscenes.
More like cutscenes. Also, it's weirdly positioned in like the lore. It's like it looks like it's part of X, but it's actually a like alternate timeline of X, because as we all know, the X timeline eventually leads into the Zero games, but Command Mission supposedly takes place at the same time that the Zero games would be taking place in 21XX. No, in 22XX, rather. But, like, just in a different continuity for some reason, even though things don't seem that different. It's weird. That seems dumb. But, anyway, I haven't played it. Although I'm a little curious about it, honestly. Next one is, hi, Ben, how does Nate feel that you shaved your head? Well, I mean, honestly, he's probably not aware of it. So, there you go. Next one is called Good, Good, Good. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I was recently talking about different adaptations, my friend.
Oh, come on.
The idea of taking,
There's too many. Too many in 1 week.
Yeah.
And just from like talking to him, this is something that I know that I felt in the past. He really stressed like this inherent value of having like a movie or a TV show based on all the thing you like and it being big. And it seems to like almost undervalue the actual work itself of the original manga. And I just think that's a really common attitude in like normie culture. And I was just kind of curious if you guys have noticed this too, and if there are actually any good adaptations of something or superior adaptations that you've experienced. Because, you know, I really can't think of any.
Yeah, it's
that one wasn't very funny.
I think it's overexposure. Like like you said, none of them have a point. They are just like weird sounds. But too much of weird sounds, it's just sort of stops being surprising.
I think the Piano Man was the best one.
Yeah, the sentence mixing with that. The comedy of the piano coming back, but the
Piano Man one made me chuckle. That one did not. Next one is called Dana Dan Donda Don, and I think it's probably going to be another one. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, PCP. It's Zoomerdon.
Okay, yeah, next one. It's called Joel's Goals. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, PCP. It's your boy, Paul.
Nope. Okay, no, good try. Next one is an Imgur album. It's called Funny Ben, then long descriptions. Don't hurt your throat reading if you can help it at ben.com. I'll post the link here, even though you can see it and you don't need me to, but I'll do it anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Good calling Ben Stinky reminded me I found a green piece of paper.
Ben said so stinky he turned the page green.
There you are.
There, I did. I guess I did. Too weird to live, too rare to die. Ben Saint at the Nlakakan. Panic at the Disco's Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die album cover. Except with Ben Saint, I couldn't think of a more clever name, a more clever rename for it. I was blanking on Endless War memes. And then there's me playing basketball.
Bionic Saint.
All net. He will never be ballin'. And then you see this. I like my chest hair. It's copious. That's true.
This was at a request for Ben Bowling. If you squint, you can see the water is sparkling water.
Oh, I do see. A request from who?
Where's this guy getting requests?
Where is this guy getting requests?
I mean, they're in my Discord. They joined. So maybe it's in there.
He's in my Discord too, actually, so maybe there? Bald Ben Saint, Twinkle Twinkle. Yep, that is how it be. Except I shaved my beard, and I shouldn't have cut my beard. I should have cut. I'm an idiot. I'm growing. I'm already in the process of growing it back. And then
you grow your eyebrows out, curl them around to make a new beard.
Easy. Crazy Ben's evil illegal weed. No, I'll only sell good illegal weed. Morally good. Only, please. And thank you.
Chaotic good weed.
Chaotic good weed, yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's what I want. That's my weed goals. I want my weed to be chaotically good aligned. Weed gummy worms. Oh, it's me riding the bike around, like you said. A cop is hitting in the bush over there. Cop. Ben Saint slime weed gummies for sale here on my person and at my home address of Ben Saint at 6969 Ben Saint Boulevard, Maine, USA. Honk honk.
What a serendipitous street you ended up living on, Ben Saint Boulevard.
Just worked out that way. Imagine, yeah, they just vacancy opened up just the right time. Big head, big bald Saint, big bald head. There's me. And then model Frank Ocean. It's Cheesy's fave musical boy.
Oh,
I thought I had.
Is that who that was? I remember them making a comment. Yeah, I thought I had put in the description of the 1 week's episode, but I didn't. Frank Ocean is the guy Cheesy's stand is based on. It's a thing in JoJo that your stand manifests with a gimmick or theme. But then Hirohiko Araki would sometimes throw a reference to whatever pulp culture Frank Ocean sings Cheesy's favorite song.
Catface.
Catface.
A little more of the comic I'm doing. It's a bit of a read. Oh my god, it's so long.
I don't know if we can read the whole of this. I like the image though. The fire the wolf is breathing is very nice.
You know what? I'll post a screenshot. In addition to the image, I'll post a screenshot of the description, and you can pause it and read it if you're interested.
TLDR guy becomes werewolf to fight pumpkin-headed zombies.
Okay.
I sure hope Pump isn't there. She'll be killed.
I like the teal and pink fire is kind of neat looking.
Yeah.
And the blue teeth, the blue eyes. Blue eyes white dragon. Think about it. Pumpkins that grow across the land. Yep. Use the bodies of the dead to walk upright and cross rivers up in mountains and plant their seeds everywhere. Neat.
Oh, so
cool.
It's like the Last of Us with pumpkins.
So like a head crab.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like a pumpkin takes over an already dead person, though. Okay.
Oh, well, that Pump isn't one of those. Pump is all pumpkin.
The werewolf is, oh god, tearing this guy. Tearing his skeleton out of his body. Ew.
The werewolf thinks he thoroughly destroyed the Pumpkin King.
He does, but a really dead boy. Maybe? Maybe not. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. Very, very nice. Very nice. Looks good. I like the different colored ballpoint pens. It reminds me of you ever see what fucking that stupid thing about the girl with the big boobs? And Nate thought it was like so bold of an anime to be about like girls with big boobs shouldn't be discriminated against.
Galco-chan?
Yes, Galco-chan. You ever see the manga that it's
I've seen a bit of the manga, yes. It's got that
different colored ballpoint pens.
Different colored line art.
Yeah. Next
the girl with the big boobs. I mean it is true.
It's true though.
There's just so many things that I could refer to.
Yeah, but Galco-chan is like sort of specifically about it, though.
Is it? I thought it was about like Well,
it's not.
It's
well,
about
it's not only
femininity or like being the real, like what it's really like being a girl.
It
All
is
these things.
It is that. But also, I mean, Galco being a big booby lady is kind of it's like important to her character.
It is part of the character
it's not just
and the story.
gratuitous.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is another Imgur link, and then
it's Ben Saint's final form.
It's just Walter White. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's,
I mean, you wear glasses.
Oh,
you cook
I'm
meth.
shave my head. I cook math. Yeah.
You were a teacher. You're literally.
Oh, that's
Walter
true.
White?
That is true. Well, he taught chemistry. I taught physics, but I mean, close enough.
What would be the physics equivalent of Breaking Bad? Like a physics teacher gets into drugs and uses physics to make a good drug.
Making illegal
not even a drug, actually, just a crime that involves physics.
Black holes.
Making black holes.
Manufacturing illegal neutrinos. Manufacturing illegal electricity. With a copper wire and a magnet. Gee, I don't know. I mean, okay, I guess that's the last one. We're done. We're fucking done here.
Okay.
Oh, actually, there's a. Did you listen to the Vinny's Imgur album? Actually, has a little 1-second voicemail attached.
It's just a noise.
It's going or something. I think it's deliberate. So I'm gonna call that a real voicemail. Actually. Well, that's the end of the voicemails. And
all right.
We're almost at the 3 hours. Wow, 3 hours just fly by. Every single week. You know, I got messaged by an old head PCP fan who had not listened. I mean, this guy claimed, I had my suspicions about this guy, but he claimed to be an old head PCP fan who had not listened to the show in years. And he messaged me on Twitter. He just wanted to ask me a bunch of questions about stuff. And it was really fun. He was casually using the N-word despite not being black. And I was like, okay, man, that's a little gauche, but all right. And he wanted to know, he did not seem to know about people's genders, which was like, okay, all right. But the guy had not listened, so I couldn't blame him, I guess. And then he was just asking me about stuff about Mumkey drama and stuff about what do you think of Jeff Thu? I was like, wow, what a what a revelation. This guy's, it's like I opened a time capsule and this guy stepped out.
Well, I mean, what did he want to know? It sounds like it's just all of the things that would show that he's a person from before.
Yeah.
Is it sincere?
Well, I'm mentioning those because they were example. But I mean, he was just asking me how are you doing? How's Munchie doing? How's so and so? He was asking me how everybody's doing. What's going on with these people? Do you ever talk to Mage anymore? What's Mage doing? Da 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 da. It was interesting. It was weird. It was kind of neat. It was all right. Just odd. Just funny. Why did I? Yeah. Oh, he said. He did say to say hi to you. He did say to say hello to you, and also to Munchie. So I'll tell you now, and I'll tell Munchie later. That this guy said hi. Yes. He said Devu was better than me.
At what?
In general.
Devu's a general.
And I thought this guy must be a fake. This must be a catfish. I thought this must be a Devu. This must be Devu on an alt account doing an op, catfishing me because nobody is a Devu fan. There's no way. Okay, well, anyway, I just thought I wanted to mention that. It was a funny thing that happened just yesterday, actually. Anyway, if you're a new head PCP fan, patreon.com/the Pro Crastinators for 1 million bonus episodes. while you wait for your treasury bonds to mature. And that's the straight dope.
Yes.
And that's what's happening. That's the
the
song
way
of the
the
South.
news goes.
The way the news goes. You got anything else to say before we wrap it?
Nope.
Me either. All right. Bye.
Goodbye. That's the end of the show.
It is.